now. You people me a talk. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of a citizen to vote. I upon them constitution like time it did a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty, vote house closed. No one arm, no one choose the color of them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah. If it's Rasta, them talking. Look here. Michelle from Rima. Down in the valley, God, me hear ya. Great John has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Ooh, yeah. Wouldn't be you play power.
No, I need to know if I am live now.
Is it on this place, American? Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My people me talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, falling suffrage. Rise and take your stands again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people need a talk. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now?
We're back with you with TPJ's live coverage of the 2025 election. Before we go back to some more results as well as our panel, let's go to PNP headquarters with Dwayne Anderson.
People familiar with the geographical layout of St. Andrew
It's the right time, it's the duty of a citizen to vote. All upon them constitution like time it need a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty, vote house closed. No one arm, no one choose the color of them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? These love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah.
Yes, but what my is that it?
From Rima.
I'm doing a broadcast in the
has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. They're crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. It's time again. Well, are you gonna vote now? Good people need talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? I like one, we want. I like to preach, we preach. See that bust up them big guns on the street, Lord. Killing people, just all day in the sea. Who is it that I am speaking? Who is it that is controlling the system? Three parties and I'm not dancing. Who is it? Who is she? No, who is the Mr. Him? Yeah, it's a campaign time again now. When it's politics time again, the people are the cry now. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Everything we raise, but we won't live on fret. When the air that we breathe becomes stick with them, then we know Jaja guy, we will never fret. Whenever you're ready, we're ready. No more spot check. Ready a light where you're politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? More people from it's right of senior citizens to vote by upon the Constitution. Long time it did a joke. Fed up with promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty, photos closed. No one harm, no one through the collar of them clothes, y'all. Some just plain greedy. No matter how it takes, they'll forget easier. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Ooh, really be sad. Is it a misplaced melancholy? Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My people may talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, falling sufferers. Rise and take your stands again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me a talk. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of a citizen to vote. I upon them constitution. Last time it did a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote house closed. No one arm, no one chew the collar of them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah. If it's Rasta, them talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, got me here, yeah. Krypton has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Ooh, yeah. Wouldn't be nuclear power. Should really be sad. Is it a misplaced melancholy? Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My people may talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, falling sufferers. Rise and take your stands again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me a talk. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of a citizen to vote. I upon them constitution. Last time it did a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote house closed. No one arm, no one chew the collar of them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah. If it's Rasta, them talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, got me here, yeah. Krypton has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Ooh, yeah. Wouldn't be nuclear power. It's politics time again. Well, are you gonna vote now? Good people need talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Ooh. And a little one, we want. And a little preach, we preach. Still they bust up their big guns on the street, Lord. Killing people, all they really see. Who is it that I man is speaking? Who is it that is controlling the system? Three parties and I'm not dancing.
this is one of the seats that the PNP needs to wrestle back tonight.
Oh, I'm glad we're back because we've had some technical difficulties and we just want to apologize.
Very crucial seat for them.
Something beyond our control.
I think is in his
We are calling you from Countdown Center here in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Tenny Miller here, and we're giving you up to date, trying our best to give you up to date information on what's happening with the voting that is taking place in taking place out there in the rest of the country. We were listening to some coverage earlier about what's happening in different areas, and picking up some information from TVJ, because TVJ is covering, and they have quite a vast amount of purposes on the ground, covering it from different angles, along with the Gleaner, and the Gleaner and TVJ work together because they are brother and sister company. So they're able to give us a much clearer and more comprehensive mapping of what's going on as best as they can. CVM is also there and working close with Jamaica Observer to also give some kind of a coverage on what's going on. Some of the latest results that I've gotten here so far is that George Wright from Westmoreland, fine, in Western Westmoreland, he has 101 to Vaz having 24. We have St. James, Nikisha Burchell 243 to Oma Davis 178. In St. James West Central, Marlene Malahoo 476 to the PNP Andre Orton 61, with just one box counted so far. Toya Hamilton in Trelawney has 128 to Wickham McNeil 51, and of course Denisha Williams 161 for the PNP to Xavier Main 32. The countdown still continues. There's some interesting numbers that are coming out and look inconsistent and look confusing, and we don't know where this all will end. It's going to be interesting to see where the whole thing somersault, because where you suspect and expect that you will be seeing, some amount of lead based on the persons, the personalities, the constituencies, and so on. We're seeing some very, it's not disturbing, just some interesting numbers. It's telling you whether or not there was enough persons was there to really vote. Did enough people go out and vote after all? Or is it a situation whereby these people don't take it very seriously? They were just a part of the jollification and the merriment and whatever the curry goat or rice and peas might have come with that. But at the end of the day, there was not much persons who either are registered to vote, or people just seem seriously to say, listen, I'm not interested and I've never been interested. So, I'm not voting for you. So you wonder, was there when it is all done, there needs to be some kind of a study, because you're not sure if people know what they want too when you see the kind of a way in which they vote and the people who vote. And then there should be a survey and a test to check the various persons who vote and say what were really the serious, genuine reasons why they just voted for a particular individual and for a particular party. And if there was no idea and what informed them, what moved them. Because it's going to be interesting to know, because that will determine again what happens the next election if we have another one that's it, same way. And what will happen at the polls again, because what it might say is that, people don't even have an interest in going to the polls to vote anymore. If they go, you just have to pay them money and they do what they want to do there and they finish with that. I don't know. But we look at it and see. It interesting times, interesting results coming out from the different areas. But then it's early. It's only what time now? 7:47 p.m. So it's early. There's some of the difficult boxes and the major areas have not yet been visited. In terms of box, have not yet been visited, so you can get some proper counting. So it's early time, so let us see what happens with that. We see if we can find some of those persons who we asked to give us a call so as to keep us up to date as to what's going on with in their neck of the woods, and how they see and feel about what's happening. Let me see if we can find somebody. Dr. Locke, let's see if we can find Dr. Locke and see and get a response from Dr. Locke as to how he sees the trending and the changes as it is taking place, and what is his thinking on it. He's a political scientist, and he understands the election process, and he has been around. Just to get a response from him, to see what he thinks about it. If we're able to get him on the phone, trying to find Dr. Rovan Locke out of Westmoreland, and he understands what was going on in Westmoreland. He was on the road, so maybe he might be able to tell us. See if we can get him to answer his phone now, or if he's busy, glued to the television, listening to Dan Jackson and some other people, and not answering his phone. But he has been out to some of the political activities of both parties over the last couple of months, and he has been talking to some of the candidates and talking to people, and he has been doing his own survey and reading and so on. So it should be interesting to know what is his thought process on some of this. Trying to call Dr. Rovan Locke, but he seemed to be very busy. He's not answering his phone. Well, I guess if we can't call him, then we'd have to move on to see who else we can get a kind of a response from. It's election here so far. St. Catherine, Eastern, Ricardo, and Watson, and Daly. Sorry, Dennis Daly 170 to Pico. Dwight Pico 89. Dennis Daly is a sitting member of parliament for that constituency, and she won comfortably in the last election, and despite some amount of disgruntlement with some people in her area, one understands that she would have mended fences and done well, so therefore that it might be work in her favor so that she gets a second term. I don't know yet. There are some people who have second thoughts about it, but she's a fairly steady member of parliament and fairly fixed and consistent, and her people knows her, and she knows her constituency quite well. So let us see, but it's early days yet. It's just about 3 boxes counted, and Mr. Peku seems to have 89 and she has 170. So let's see how it unfolds. They're going to be getting some more results coming out of there. For Peter Bunting out in Manchester, Peter Bunting is 52%. He has 52% of the votes, and of course his opponent Ian Ives has 48%. Fine. Peter has 8,573 already. How many boxes counted here? And 79. And my man have 7903. The JP candidate. We need to verify that. So much votes counted already. What's the size of the constituency? And what is? Are we able to check to find out what is the size of the constituency? I can't see that. 10,000 voters. 20,000 voters. Let me just get some clarification here. He has 120,000 people in that constituency. No, I'm not getting the numbers right. Right here, let me get it here, because I am finding it difficult. We need to look on your electoral list to see what's the population for that constituency, what's the total amount of voters there as against it, because we see here 8,573. I don't know how that goes. We have to check that. That might be an error there. Hanover East, 54% of the vote gone to 775. I am trying to understand these numbers. And so quick. We have Andrea Perkis, 54%. That's 775 votes. And Dave Brown has 651 votes in Hanover East. Okay. So the PNP lady is leading in Hanover East by 54 to Brown 45. Early days yet. We're not sure how many boxes have counted there, so we'd have to check that and see where that goes after that. So they miss this here. So for Manchester Southern, Peter Bunting 8,573 to Mr. Ives 7,903. Wow! And how many boxes counted so far? One about the top 120 boxes out of 120 boxes. So you can safely declare that Peter Bunting is the winner in that its constituency. All 120 boxes, 16 of all 120 boxes count. In Hanover Eastern, versus no, that is gone. St. Thomas Eastern, we have Shaw and Charles, and Shaw leading Charles by at least 200 or 400 votes. So the PNP Shaw is leading Pernil Charles' daughter by at least 400 votes. In St. Thomas Eastern, let me see now. This is Westmoreland. Hales is 411 to James 351. So Hales seem to be picking up and moving there. Ian Hales, the PNP vice chairman. Let me hope he can do better than that. Only 411 so far, but it's early days yet. Only 8 boxes of 138 boxes counted so far. So we pay attention and watch and see how that involved. Where we go. Who is this now? Jess in Zekila Jess PNP 5,000 to slowly 5,278. She's 5,504. We don't have to, well, these numbers, this is what now 86 out of 125 boxes count. Early times it's just what 755 and so much has gone. So it's interesting to see what's going on here. Some of these people are just jumping to leaps and bounds. So it's 5,504 for Jess, and of course 5,278 for slowly. Now St. Elizabeth Northwestern, Scarlett 3,831 to Morris 5,553. So Morris of the JLP is leading in that seat, and only 87 what boxes? 87 of 87 boxes. So Morris they could declare Morris and winner if the account is official. So it's 3,831 for the PNP Scarlett Forest and 5,555 for the Jamaica Labour Party Andrew Morris. Wow, things are going fast here. Let me see. Norman Scott 1,000 to Witter 991. Norman Scott has 1,004. Well, Norman Scott was bouncing around. Let me hope he has really found some traction and groundings there, and to see how that unfolds for him. It is election countdown. We're in Montego Bay. I'm your host, Roy Tenny Miller, and we're just looking at some interesting things that are happening here with the counting so far. We seem to have declared 2 seats already. One, of course, is St. Elizabeth Northwest, and the other one is Peter Bunting in Manchester, where he has captured 8,000. 8,500 of the votes for him in Manchester. Morris has captured 5,500 from what's her name, only 3,831, and all 87 boxes have counted already. Wow, interesting things are happening here. Very interesting things are happening. We're gonna have to take another look at what's going on with St. Catherine, because I understand that Terry Long seems to be leading Raymond Price, and no hint of Raymond Price getting out of that shaft with Terry Long. St. Thomas East, Yvonne Shaw 3,763 to Michelle Charles 3,354. So right now in St. Thomas, the PNP candidate Yvonne Shaw is leading Michelle Charles by at least 500 votes here, or 400 votes here, where that is concerned. So we see how the whole thing unfolds. So Peter Bunting has obviously been declared winner from Manchester. Fine. So we go to, that's in Manchester Southern. So we see what happens later on. Ian Hills 411 PNP, and Garfield James 351. That's for of course in Western Westmoreland constituency. Okay, we're gonna go take a tune into TVJ now, and then hear what are the latest findings they have going on here. St. Andrew Northwest, by the way, William Simpson is 77 as against Dwayne Smith 115. Only 2 of 112 boxes counted. So it's early days yet. We see what happens with that and how that unfolds on the rest of us. 2 boxes of 112. Manchester said, oh well, we saw Peter Bunting. What is here now? No, but I don't see. But what's happening here? Well, this is a contradictory one because it says here Peter Bunting 487 to Ives 372. Something is wrong. Unless it's AI giving us some false numbers somewhere about the place. We'd have to check it. We just want to remind you that our broadcast tonight is brought to you through the kind courtesies of, what do you call them, Lewis and Company Shipping. Lewis and Company Shipping Company, they are operating out of 16th Street in Fort Lauderdale, and they are an excellent group of people who provides quality shipping service, quality management and courtesy staff, and they're quite decent. And I tell you something, the price is reasonable because them give me a price for shop a rotted box will look like one junior house. I mean, never know say they're cheap, so in my case, and pay them quick before them change their mind. Lewis Shipping and Company, they provide good quality shipping services to you when you need it. It's Roy Tenny Miller, and we're covering the elections out of Jamaica, the elections between the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party, and we're looking at what's going on there. We have 2,000 and 3,000, the JLP 3,800 and the PNP 2,086 in catching West Central. That's Loxley, Francis, and Tufton. Okay, well, it is Tufton seat, you know. That's been a Labour then, that's a Labour seat for centuries gone on, so one can expect that, fine. So that's fine. That's going on. Carisha Morrison, 3,225 to 2,000 something for the Andre Higgins of the PNP for St. Catherine Northeastern. So those numbers are changing. The JP seem to have the seat. St. Catherine Southern, yeah. Matthews. And Weekly is 6,000. Matthews is 2,000. Again, that's Weekly is a sitting member of Parliament. And when they put him aside, he was there to spend some time in his constituency, so he get the opportunity to be able to do that. This guy was at PNP headquarters. I don't know where he is now. He's from TVJ. Let's hear what his findings are.
Senior reporter Kimon Francis. Kimon, you were on the road today. You went in parts of St. Catherine, parts of St. Andrew and Kingston. What did you observe specifically in those battleground scenes?
It was a bit strange today, and I say strange in the sense that customarily in elections you see the parties' bases, they're out in their numbers. Today, I had to literally go into the garrisons, deep into the garrisons, to see the base and to hear from them. What I saw in a lot of the communities was really the middle income earners, working class, upper middle.
Give me a minute, Kimon. I'm sorry, we're doing a live on TV, so could you just step back and give me a couple minutes, please? Thank you. You can speak to me afterwards. Kimon, you were saying about the middle class voters?
Right, we were seeing middle income earners, upper middle income, just lining up, waiting for hours to vote. We didn't see much of the base support, as I said previously.
Continue speaking, it's fine.
Interestingly, when I spoke to a senior member of the People's National Party, what they said to me was that we have 14 and the goal is to keep that 14, and we're really looking at 21 more minimum to add to that to take us across the line.
No, we've been hearing complaints left, right and center about slow voting, low turning. It's fine, thank you very much. But one particular thing that we must know that here in Jamaica is that employers are required and encouraged to send home their workers a little bit early so they can vote. While coming through Western St. Andrew in particular on Spanish Town Road, we saw this massive build-up of traffic where I'm imagining some voters would have been in that traffic. You were able to find out what was going on. What happened for those 2-3 hours where people were just stuck in traffic?
And what was happening was that supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party and of the People's National Party, I don't want to say clash, but they met. And what I saw was actually a sight for sore eyes, given our history. They were dancing. So the police were to try and clear the traffic, but not aggressive. They wanted people to interact, but it did cause, a pileup.
Thank you. Kimon and I, we're here at the PNP's headquarters, and I'm imagining, based on how slow the voting is going, we could be here until around midnight or 1 a.m., but we'll be sure to bring you whatever newsworthy happens. It's back to you in the studio. Dion.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. Well, as we were saying earlier, though, a lot of times what you have is you have this very slow period, and then all of a sudden the results just start pouring in, a tsunami of results a lot of the time. We're not quite at that point yet. So when we look at a lot of the results, so for instance, we're seeing East Portland on the screen there. We've been stuck at this particular result for a little while, just 2 boxes. And here we go. I don't think we've read this before. We have St. Anne Northeastern, 17 boxes of 147. Matthew Samuda of the JLP with 885. Ryan Simpson of the PNP with 686. And Emily, let me ask you to take the next couple of results.
Right, so this is Trelawney Northern. 16 of 146 boxes counted. Earl, I think you're in better eyesight than I am.
I'm realizing,
yes.
I know.
October Hamilton, 928.
Let me hand over the baton properly to you, Earl.
Yes.
Take the baton, Earl.
October Hamilton, 928 to Rebecca McNeil, 662. So she has 58%, and he has, well, let's move on to Trelawney Southern. 186 for Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, and Paul Patmore of the PNP, 156. That is 5 boxes of 96.
And we expect Marissa Dalrymple Philibert to hold that.
7 boxes out of 120 in Manchester Southern. Peter Bunting, 651 to Ian Ives, 439. So that's 59.6 to 40.2%. And the independent Karen Scott, she got 2 votes. Manchester Central, interesting one. Donovan Mitchell of the PNP, 809 votes to Rhoda Crawford of the JLP, 731. 13 of 139 boxes. Manchester North Western, Michael Phillips of the PNP, 220 votes, and Damian Young of the JLP, 167 votes. Tricia Stewart Angus still at 1 vote. So Michael Phillips has 56.7% of the votes to Damian Young, 43%. Trelawney Northern, we're back there, and it's 16 of 146 boxes. Has it moved? October Hamilton, 928 to Wickham McNeil, 662, 58% to 42%.
What is interesting, though, is that some of these seats here, you thought would be creating a difference, and when Tova Hamilton won the seat in Trelawney, it was thought that it was a buck up, it was accident, and she just got through with it. But then, having won the seat, people say that she has done some tremendous amount of work with where it matters most, and with some of the grassroots people, and it been, seem to have been paying off for her, because if she can give Wickham McNeil, who's a seasoned politician, a former minister several times round, and somebody who could understand the political hustings and the ground, and if she's carrying him by such a margin, therefore means that she's not a pushover. So if he went inside there with the thought that she might be a pushover, then he has a second guess coming. I see where Westmoreland too has a problem. The General Secretary should not be comfortable in it. 259 to 253 is nothing to smile about. Despite it's only 7 boxes of 123 left to count. 7 boxes count already out of 123. But let us see how that unfolds. But don't feel too comfortable. General Secretary, you only have demand by 10 votes. St. Elizabeth Northwestern, Scarlett first, 213 to Andrew Morris of the JLP, 697. So that's clearly a strong JLP seat. And Scarlett Forrester, Patricia Forrester, might not be able to make it because of the disparity with the voting results so far. St. Elizabeth Northern, you have Jess 147 to Slowly 444, and of course they have White and of course Patterson also, who also ran with still no votes on the ballot for them. So we see how this thing followed. No, this is an interesting seat that we wanted. So St. Catherine East Central. Price versus Terry Long. Terry Long is at 84. Price is at 54 with 1 box counted. Now, when results coming in again from these places, it's going to be a flood back to back, and you're going to be hearing how the whole thing just take on like a tsunami. Beg your pardon, and take on a life of its own. So we'll go pay attention to that and see how it unfolds. There are some other areas that we haven't spoken about now. Azan in Clarendon North. So Azan is at 6,356 to Newby 5,895. Only the number of boxes count is 94. 99 boxes count, and of course they have a guy Palmer who runs as independent, and of course he didn't get any vote and so on. But 5,895 to 635. It's Azan's call. Morgan of the JLP is 2,709, and Dixon LJ of the PNP is 2,245. There seems to be an interesting run there because Morgan is a sitting MP, so we see how that unfolds. There's Miss Johnson Rice, who also ran, but she didn't get any count in this one. But so it's a difference of 5, 6, 7, 400 and something votes between Dixon and Morgan. 55 boxes out of 104. Let's see if there's an upset to come now. All right. So that is Lester Morgan, and of course Alan Dixon out there in Clarendon. Is Alan? Yes, Dixon out there in Clarendon. It is saying here, if this is true, that 80 of 98 boxes count, with Terry Long having 5,495 and Raymond Price having 4,198, and 80 of the 98 boxes count. I don't know. We'll see how that unfolds. It seems to be jumping too quick, unless the computer is analyzing it based upon what it thinks is a trend, and that's its case. It's saying that Raymond has lost the seat again to Terry Long. So we see how that unfolds later on. It is Tenny Miller Live, and we are doing a special coverage of elections coming out of Montego Bay, from Montego Bay here. Compliments of our sponsors, Chancellor & Co. and Lewis and Company, the shippers who are our reliable shipping company from 16th Street in Fort Lauderdale. Mr. Charles Jr. has 1,431, and Mr. Barneswell has 1,005. Barneswell is a former councillor and a former mayor of Maypen, and Charles Jr. is Colonel Charles' son, who is a sitting member of Parliament. So let us see what happens. Huh? It is still not too comfortable. How many? 22 boxes of 114 count. So it's early days, and we have a lot to come with that. So we see how that falls out. Where we go again? Okay. Who will come there now? We'll say, well, Peter Bunting thing seems to be a gone conclusion. Okay, I beg your pardon. Okay, the next one is between Brown 651 to Perkis 775. Then Hanover Eastern. But this is interesting, because a lot of people thought that Perkis might not be able to do it, and it was St. Thomas Eastern, Shaw and Charles is really going to be having a battle royal down there, of course. But Perkis in Eastern Hanover will be creating a surprise for everybody. Westmoreland Western Hales 411 to James 351. So we want to see how that goes. That's Charles, and of course Barnesville. That's in Clarendon Southern. Okay. We see how it unfolds. It's undecided. So we have Hales, James, yeah. Hines at 2,847, and Siblings is 2,600. So Hines in Clarendon look like that. The Hines is carrying the lead with 53 of 100 boxes count. Let's see how the whole thing unfolds as we continue with it. Jess, St. Elizabeth Northeastern, 5,504 votes. Slowly 5,278. 86 boxes of 125 counted. The gentleman from Mr. Patterson from the Blue Party, only 1 vote. All right, some things are happening. Shaw for the PNP in St. Thomas Eastern 3763 and Charles 3354. So if it continues along that trajectory with 71 boxes out of 126 counted, then Miss Charles have to go Maria go wash some plates. Okay. St. Thomas Western, Robertson James 1223 to Williams Hubert of the PNP 1060. Well, James Roberts is a sitting member of Parliament and he has nothing to do but play. So one expect that he will still maintain his seat. Fine. The question is, what has the kind of level of representation so far? All right, Wickham McNeil seem to have made a big jump now. Wickham now has 3,739 to Miss Tava Hamilton has 3,402. 72 boxes out of 146 counted. So let us see how now the whole thing now gets into a flurry of stuff. Dalbert, Filbert, it says that Trelawney Southern. Paul Padmore has 846 to Dalrymple has 838. Now this is going to be a battle royal because there are two prominent people up in that section of Trelawney Southern. Dalrymple Filbert left it and came back, and they brought her back, and she intended that she wants to maintain the seat. Virtual Nikisha seemed to want to give the sitting member of Parliament Omar Davis and former mayor a run for his money. She's 2,776 while Omar is 2,731. So Omar, you're lagging behind by about some 40 something votes. So let's see what happens here. It's only 54 of 110 boxes count. So there are early days yet to see how the whole thing unfolds. St. James West Central, Mahalu for 2,211. Andre Horton 2,046. Andre Horton says it's not over till it's over. It's 39 of 104 boxes. You never know what will happen. St. James East Central, well, I mean, this one is not a box that you're really creating excitement about. Edmund Bartlett 3,765 and Miss Reed Nutt 2,439. It is expected that it's an easy win for St. James East Central. It's an easy win for the Minister of Tourism. St. James Northwest. It says that Horace Chang has 3,992, while Alan Bernhard has 2,322. It is also expected again that Horace Chang, the sitting member of Parliament for 23 years, should be able to beg your pardon, carry that home. But we see how the whole thing unfolds, eh? St. Anne Northwest now. Carla Morris has 4,533, while Crystal Lee has 4,333. So Crystal Lee now has gone on the downside while Morris is on the upside. Let us see what's going on here, fine. You see, the thing is going to be seesawing for a while, you know. We see what happens as the votes coming from the various boxes. They only have, 81 of 135 boxes count. So it's still early days yet. It's not a big lead that Miss Morris have, But let me see how consistent that will be. I haven't heard anything from Damien Crawford so far. We haven't heard much about Damien Crawford so far.
And the People's National Party, 3,831 votes. Now, I'll get back to that board in a bit in another update, but right now I'm joined with my colleague from the Gleaner, Karen Madden. Karen, thank you so much for joining me. I know today we've been hearing about the concerns about persons being in line for hours. I voted in southern St. Catherine. I got there around 10:18. I didn't leave until around 10:45. Some people may say it doesn't seem long, but there are only two persons in front of me. And what was your experience?
My experience is similar to yours, Kalisha. Same constituency. I voted at Belmont Park Primary School, a very busy polling station with probably about 15 PDs. So when I got there just after 7 o'clock, my mantra is early voting. So I got there just after 7 o'clock. When I got there, I joined a line outside the polling division, the polling station, which was very unusual. Probably about 15 or 17 people in that line. And then we went inside and had to line up again in front of your particular PD. And we were there in the steaming sun. It took about 40 minutes for the process to be completed, and everybody in the line was also saying that, and many experienced voters were saying that, that this is very, very unusual.
Okay, thank you so much, Karen. I'm going to go back to the board a bit, and we're seeing the People's National Party is leading in 30 constituencies, and the Jamaica Labour Party leading in 33 constituencies. And as I mentioned earlier, we've seen a significant jump in terms of the progress in each constituency, moving now to even St. Andrew Southeastern, where 89% of the boxes counted there. We're seeing the People's National Party 4,710 votes to the Jamaica Labour Party 2,827 votes. Going back to another constituency, I'm going down now to St. Andrew Northeastern, where 94% of the boxes have been counted, and the Jamaica Labour Party leading in that constituency 4,883 votes to the People's National Party's 3,555 votes. Karen, anything, and I know you covered in 2020, are you seeing anything that is really, I know there are some seats we've been watching closely, 12 of which, the Jamaica Labour Party won in 2020 that it hadn't won in years. Was there a particular constituency you were watching closely coming into this election?
Yes, certainly. I grew up in East Rural St. Andrew, so that's always a seat that is of interest to me. So I was watching that as among the seats that I was watching. I expected things to be different. I'm not an election expert by any means, but I expected things to be different in a non-COVID times as it was in 2020.
Thank you so much, my colleague from the Gleaner, Karen Madden. And Dion, of course, I'll have some more updates for you when you join me in the next live reporting from the ECJ. I'm Kelisha Williams. It's back to you, Dion, in studio.
Thank you so much, Kelisha. And just to repeat what Kelisha just said in terms of the latest seats, what should I say, where they're leaning, JLP leading at this moment in 33, PNP leading in 30. We have up St. Andrew East Rural, but this is from way back when. I suspect the counting has changed significantly here. This is 3 boxes of 137. PNP's, okay, let's go to St. Thomas Western, 26 boxes of 163. The JLP's James Robertson, 1223. The PNP's Hubert Williams, now 1,060. And Carleen Affleck of the Progressive Party with 9 votes. Okay, let's take a break and we'll come back. We'll get some more comment and lots more results.
Okay, so TVJ is going to a break. As we said that we will alternate between TVJ and we're hoping to join our friends from CVM so that we could get an idea of what might be happening somewhere else. You hear the PNP is leading in 30 seats while the JLP is leading in 33, and there are some seats that we have not yet heard any results from. Certainly we haven't heard from Western Hanover. We haven't heard from section of the Babs Green seat no, just a very little coming out of Central St. Catherine, and of course we haven't heard about the Bobby Pickersgill seat, which Damian Crawford is into. So we need to hear more from those places, and of course other places in Clarendon we still not yet have heard much coming out of those places, and East Kingston and Port Royal. We want to hear more about what's happening there, and of course what's happening with Julian Robinson and Mr. Fritt out there in Mountain View area of that constituency. What else we have there? We have anything there anywhere? We have Crawford 1,823 to Newton 1,818. So we don't know what is going to. Newton Amos 1,618 and Crawford is 1,823. That's the first vote I've gotten out of them, and that's how many boxes counted. 37 boxes of 122 counted. So we see what happens as that unfolds. We have anybody else here to check on? Okay. Manchester Northeastern, Marks 2,857. Wellington Wint, 2001. Well, put it this way, it's a JLP seat. It's an oddly short seat, so we see what happens there. But Marks seem to be well. I'm not sure it's not Marks they're voting for. They're voting for the JLP in that constituency. Because Miss Marks only visited there last week, so she wouldn't be able to create things. So it's mainly a JLP seat. So therefore, I guess she will take it home. So then put her the candidate that they want to win that seat. It's a sure seat for Miss Marks. Manchester Northwest, fine. Young, Damian Young, 2,129 JLP, and Michael Phillips, 2,311 for the PNP. I think so. Things are moving. So Michael Phillips and Mark Sedation seem to be doing well on that side of Manchester. Flavor Williams, 6,490, as against Patricia Duncan at 5,398. 101 of 111 boxes counted, which therefore means that if Flavor will continue along that trajectory, she's likely to walk home again with the seat, and Patricia Duncan would have to consider whether or not her political career finishes here. Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, 5,640 to Joan Gordon Webley now 4,942. Only 97 of 140 boxes counted. Still early days yet. You never can say the tide is likely to turn. And no, Joan Gordon Webley is pissing in her. Is right now having difficulty, but then we see what happens as it unfolds. Mackenzie in Western Kingston, but this is you didn't show this report. Mackenzie in Western Kingston 4,699 and now Joseph Witter 577. I mean, it's not a competition there, but Witter is just there just to warm the seat because you can't beat Mackenzie inside there. That's a Garrison personified. Kingston, so that's Kingston Western, Witter among Witter and Mackenzie. We haven't heard much coming out of the Prime Minister's constituency because Buchanan is bent on unseating the Prime Minister, so we see what happens. Now, can you imagine if the party wins and the Prime Minister loses his seat? Then who they will now invite to ask to form the government? That's going to be another joke. But St. Andrew West Rural, Juliet Cuthbert 564, and of course, Joan Gordon Webley 4942. The results will speak for itself when it's all done. We still have 140 boxes, only 97 counted. So they have at least another 43 boxes to go. And anything is likely to go. It's anybody's cause. St. Andrew Western, Hilton 3,799 to Cooney Bunkley, or Dunkley 2,865. It's Tony's seat, has always been. And I don't think he intends living there, but this young man seems to be making an impression. Carla Francis in that constituency got 48 votes. Maybe the only person who seemed to get the most votes as an independent person so far tonight. Fine. We're going to check a little bit with Dan again. I hear what she's saying. Miss Andrew North is St. Andrew North. So KD's daughter, 3,556 against Delroy Chop 4,884. Okay, so let us go over to a little bit of Diana and hear what they're saying at TVJ.
Matthew Samuda is the incumbent there. It looks by the numbers here that we can safely say that Matthew Samuda will continue to hold Northeast St. Anne. That's with 86.4% of the boxes counted. He's at 8,142 and his rival there is 5,873.
Can we go back to the St. Elizabeth seat that had Slowly and Jess that had come up on
Northeast?
Yeah. We had it a little bit earlier and it looks like a hard-fought battle there. There we go. So the PNP is Zalika Jess has 5,504 votes at the moment, and the JLP is Delroy Slowly 5278. That's 86 boxes out of 125. 10 votes for Sean Myrie, 8 votes for Joseph Patterson.
And the other seat that has now been counted, dusted, and declared by the Electoral Office of Jamaica is St. Elizabeth Northwest, and that is the JLP's Andrew Morris taking that seat with 100% of the boxes counted. It's 5,555 Not 6666. To the PNP.
Has only ever been won by the PNP once, Mel Brown in 1993.
Yes. So, and the PNP's number there is 3831. So the JLP's Andrew Morris taking over there from J.C. Hutchinson.
Yes.
Has won that seat. It's a school teacher, school principal face-off in this particular one, and it is Andrew Morris who has held on to that for the Jamaica Labour Party.
Good.
Okay, starting to see things shaping up here. And here is another of those we're watching closely. Clarendon Northwestern, 99 boxes out of 108. The PNP's Richard Azan has ahead at this point with 6,356. The JLP's Warren Newby, 5,895. Kevin Palmer of the Progressive Party, 24 votes. That's 99 boxes of 108. So that's about 500 vote difference at this point.
461.
Here's North Central Clarendon. We're about halfway there. 55 boxes out, 104. The JLP's Robert Morgan ahead with 2,709 votes. To the PNP's O.J. Dixon, 2,245. Joy Johnson Roy with 15 votes of the Jamaica Progressive Party.
East Central St. Catherine,
It's your campaign time again now. Ooh, yeah. Well, it's politics time again. The people are gonna cry now. Ooh, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Hey, everything raise, but we won't live on fret. When here that we breed becomes stick with them, then we know Jaja guide, we will never fret. Whenever you're ready, we're ready. No more spot check. Whether you're light, whether you're heavy, have pure respect. Lord, 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 no war. No war. Yeah. Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Who is worthy? Who is worthy? It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Poor people cry. It's the right of senior citizens to vote by upon them constitution. Long time it did a joke. We are fed up with promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty, photos closed. No one harm, no one choose. The cola half them close, y'all. Some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Ooh, really be sad. Is it a misplaced melancholy? Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My people may talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, falling sufferers. Rise and take your stands again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me attack. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of a citizen to vote. I upon them constitution. Long time it did a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote house closed. No one arm, no one chew. The collar of them close now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah, yeah, yeah. If it's Rasta, them talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, can't me hear ya. Question has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Oh, yeah. Couldn't be nuclear power. Should really be sad. Is it a misplaced melancholy? Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna people me attack. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, falling sufferers. Rise and take your stance again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me attack. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of a citizen to vote. I upon them constitution. Last time it did a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote house closed. No one arm, no one chew the color of them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah, yeah, yeah. If it's Rasta, then talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, can't me hear ya. Question has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Ooh, yeah. Couldn't be nuclear power. It's politics time again. Well, are you gonna vote now? Good people need talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Ooh. And a little one, we want. And a little preach, we preach. Still they bust up their big guns on the street, Lord. Killing people, all they really seek. Who is it that I man is speaking? Who is it that is controlling the system? Three parties and I'm not dancing. Who is it? Who is she? No, who is the Mr. Him? Yeah, it's your campaign time again now. Ooh, yeah. Well, it's politics time again. The people are gonna cry now. Ooh.
Over her. Trelawney Southern. Paul Patmore has now taken the lead in Trelawney Southern. 8:46 to
Welcome back.
Dalrymple Philibert. 8:38. That's one of those that the PNP was hoping to pick up, but it's still close.
All right. Some interesting things are happening here because I just got a report out of downtown Montego Bay saying that the Labour Party people are already closing the streets. The fact that the Labour Party seem to be leading in 33 of the constituencies and the PNP leading in 30, they seem to think that some of it might be a fait accompli. But it doesn't really look like that because it's not over till it's over, and a lot of the seats have not yet been called officially. There are a lot of boxes left to be processed, and you don't know how the numbers will turn. Obviously, as I said to somebody, it's going to be a very tight race. This one is either a fight to the finish or it's going to be a landslide. Obviously, now they are past this point or stage where it would perhaps be a landslide. It's not going to be a landslide, fine, for nobody at all, fine. So it's a fight to the finish. The PNP, it obviously is not giving up. It seems as if they have done some work. They perhaps look like they could have done some more work or more quality work, but then that's another story. St. Anne Northwest, I am getting here 4,533 for the PNP, 4,333 433 for the JLP for Crystal Lee. Crystal Lee was in the lead, now taken over by Gabriel Morris. We see how that went. Gabriel seemed to have done some work. This 81 of 135 boxes count so far. Where else do we go to now? St. Anne. That is, of course, St. Anne Northwest. So, some interesting things are going. The results are going to be coming in some more in a second, and then we'll get a chance to hear what's happening to people like Crawford. And a little bit more of what's happening with Denise Daly. And Fitz Jackson, we haven't heard much report on Fitz Jackson's seat at all since night. Crawford is now 1823 as against Newton Amos at 1618. So Crawford seems to have a small lead there, and we hope that might be consistent and he might continue with that. So we see how that goes. That's on St. Catherine Western. That's Crawford. Now St. Andrew West, you have George Hilton. St. Andrew West, that's George Hilton 3,799 and Courtney Dunkley 2,665. So the PNP is leading there. In St. Andrew West Central, the Prime Minister's constituency, the Prime Minister so far has polled 4,081 votes, with Buchanan polling 3,431. So Buchanan is inside it. How many boxes out of that? 69 boxes of 105. Still kind of early days yet. We never know what might happen over there. The Prime Minister might have to be searching for his political life with this kind of a change over there. Dennis Gordon up 100 of the PNP 1,076 as against Davian Vassell of 899 of the Jamaica Labour Party, with the princess of the Independent Party polling 15 votes. Western Manchester, Phillips of the PNP is 2,311, with Young of the JP 2,129, and Tasha of course has 13 there. So St. Andrew Southern Western, you have Angela Brown Burke with 4,844, while Maureen Lorraine has 400. The poor lady, why did they do this to her? She's 403 votes. And it's a foregone conclusion. Angela Brown Burke is the winner. Is the sitting? She's incumbent and she's not going anywhere. Fine. It's a Garrison. It's Portia Garrison. So you'll not get away with anything. Listen. St. Andrew Eastern, where we have Flavor Williams. She has 6,490 votes, and of course Patricia Sutherland, Duncan Sutherland has 5,398 votes so far. Flavor Williams seem to be holding on. It's 101 of 111 boxes counted. Flavor might be able to hold on to that, it seems. St. Andrew West Rural, Juliet Cuthbert, 5,640, and Joan Webley is 4,942. So Miss Cuthbert might be holding on back to her seat. It's how many? 97 of 140 boxes. Still a lot left to go. So we see how that unfolds. Well, you don't read that. Desmond McKenzie, it's a non-argument. Where the leader of the opposition is concerned, he has polled 6,958.
Go right ahead, thank you.
While Mr. Allen has polled 374 votes. So, well, those are contests, what you call non-contest situations. St. Andrew Southeastern. Southeastern, we have 5,408 for Julian Robinson, while Kevin Frit only 3,137. And Kimora Lynch 34. And you know, Frit thought he was going to win that seat. He actually believed it. St. Andrew Southeastern, St. Andrew Eastern, or Flavel again, and of course Patricia Duncan thing. And Flavel has a 6,824 too. Duncan is 6,386 with 111 boxes count out of the 111. So the Prime Minister, Flavel Williams, has retained the seat with a margin of about 700 or 500 votes or something. Okay, and Patricia Duncan gets 6,386 as against her getting Flavel winning it with 6,824. And of course Carl Cargill with 73 from the Independent Party. In St. Andrew East Central, Dennis Gordon, myself, St. Andrew Southeastern. Now, let me see where we go now. Well, you don't read something like Angela Brown Burke's constituency with 4,000 to 400, because that's not fair to even mention it. The interesting one is that there might be a recount with the 6,386 for Duncan and a 6,824 for Flavel Williams, because it's very close. That means that both ladies were really at it and really working hard and forth. Then one man in the lot got one vote, and I'm sure it is his wife that might have voted for him, or his son. because they want to maintain his good grace. St. Andrew Southeastern. Robinson as against Frit. Robinson is 5-4-1-8 as at Frit gone 3-1-3-7. So naturally the seat belongs to Frit with Julian Robinson. With 88 out of 88 boxes. So that's a foregone conclusion. St. Andrew West Rural, so all boxes are count. This is box 97 of 140. Still early days yet. Webley is at 4942, while Flynn is at 5640. St. Andrew East Rural, Holness 1618 as against Peterkin at 1330. All right, so early late, 22 boxes of 137. It's a whole lot that distance to go, so she must not sit too comfortable where that is concerned. St. Andrew East Central, Dennis Gordon 1076 for the PNP, and Davian Vassell 899 for the JLP. You don't speak anything yourself about anybody else. Okay. St. Andrew, that's St. Andrew Northwest, Dwayne Smith of the JLP 4353, and of course Miller Sims of the PNP 3189. Smith is holding on to that. It is 78 of 112. Still a little bit early, but we see what happens. It's not very much close for us to worry about, for him to worry about, but then we never know. It's not over till it's over. In St. Andrew East Rural, where we have Patrick Peterkin and Juliet Olness, it's kind of an interesting thing because Patrick is at 133 and Olness is at 16 something. A lot of seats, a lot of votes still left to be counted. St. Andrew East Central, we have Dennis Gordon 1076, while Davion has 898. Still early days yet. This one is 78 to 12 boxes count. 112 boxes, 78 counted already. And Miller Simpson has 3189 as against Dwayne Smith has 4353. Miller Simpson of the PNP is at the 78 boxes. Let us see what they still have a few more boxes to go. So we'll see what happens. We never know, that can change. Because Dwayne must not feel too comfortable because you have well over almost 50% of the boxes still left to be counted in that area. But what it is shaping up to look like to a real fight to the end and a real fight to the wire. The JLP leads in 33, the PNP leads in 30. I don't know if that remains the same, dynamic remains the same. As soon as we get some more word out of the electoral office, we will know. As soon as more information comes from the electoral office, we will try and make a decision on it and see where it is. But it's interesting, and it's quite a battle. Let me see if I can find one of anybody from the PNP who might be able to give me some kind of a response to what's going on here. Let me talk to Andre, the campaign manager, if I can find him, if he's available. Trying to find one of the campaign managers who are out there still on the huskings trying to get the votes to come in to see if I can get a response from one of them. I'm calling Councillor Kerry, who is the campaign manager for Andre Hunton against Miss the attorney, the Minister of Constitutional Affairs, Malahoo Fort. But then he's not answering his phone. Let's go over and see if we can find. All right, let me call the political scientist Dr. Dubalak again to see if we can catch him and get a response from him. I would imagine at this time Duba would have been coming to his own conclusion about what's going to be happening. Dr. Locke.
Hello.
Dr. Locke, are you in a position to talk to me on air? We're live on air and we're trying to get your response to how things seem to be shaping up.
Well, probably for 5 minutes because I'm on a severe pain, but I could talk.
Yeah, well, I see where the JLP has 33 and the PNP has 30 seats. They're both leading in those seats. But
Yes.
you anticipate a victory for the JLP, or it is still too early?
I think I'm waiting to see who win Eastern Rural St. Andrew and East and Western Rural St. Andrew.
And if those things go to the JLP, then it's a gun contract for the JLP. Huh? There's a noise in your background there, man. There's somebody playing music in the background.
Let me turn the TV down. Let me turn the TV down.
We're trying to get the response from Dr. Rowan, a political scientist out of Westmoreland.
Yes. If Marlene Malaloo wins her seat and the two ladies up in Eastern Rural and Western Rural St. Andrew win the seat, then the JP gonna win it. But that's very crucial.
You're talking about Flavor Williams and Cuthbert Flynn.
Julius and Cuthbert.
Oh yeah, well, Juliet Olmer. Yeah, well, Cuthbert's seat seemed to have been called for her already, but Juliet's seat has not yet been called. There's still early days yet.
Yes, that's very interesting. But so Juliet Cuthbert won her seat?
Yes, Cuthbert's seat seemed to have been. I think they finished counting there. It was like 111 boxes, and all the 111 boxes counted them.
Well,
So she's back home safe and dry. Juliet Olness has not yet. We don't know what's happening with her yet.
Yes.
And Malahoo Fort still has a little way to go.
Yes, and I think that's why Green gonna win his seat. Yeah, so the JP looks good. If Floyd wins his seat, then the JP going home.
Oh well, yeah, because that seat in St. Elizabeth there, yes.
But what is surprising is Darman Scott is leading with her in Southeastern.
Who's that?
Darman Scott.
Oh yes, Scott, the former of the mayor president. Yes, seemed to be leading with her down there, which I find surprising. And he's a transplant.
Very interesting.
And he's a transplant.
Yes. I see where Vasco win his seat as I expected. I'm not surprised.
You mean Vaz in Sablamar?
Yes, he go win the seat.
Oh, okay.
And they're gonna win.
Oh.
And they're gonna win. Hold on. But Ian Hills may be in a bit of trouble.
Ian Hills seemed to be in a little bit of trouble, but it's still early days yet because I think they have a lot of boxes to count.
Yes, and you have Granville and Burn Savannah. Mm-hmm. By the way, am I on? I'm just talking to you.
You're live on air, Dr. Locke.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Yes. So and then Solon St. James. And then that's a very dicey seat.
Well,
if Homer Davis loses, then the JP will have a hard time to win.
Well, I don't see Omo winning that seat, really, frankly speaking. I need to know how many more boxes left to be counted. But I don't, and Nikisha seemed to have had a reasonable lead the last time I heard the numbers. But
yes,
like I said, it's early days yet. We see what happens in another hour or so. It's only 9 o'clock now.
Yes. As I say, the people gonna win the 3 seats in Westmoreland.
Yes.
They're gonna win the 2 seats in Hanover, and they're gonna win 2 seats in St. James.
Okay.
So that's 7.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put the JP back against the wall.
Okay.
And I'm also looking at Portland Eastern. And Marivati going to be in some serious trouble.
Who is that?
And that's what I expected. And
Well, I don't know. I know it has seemed as if that she was still having a lead. I don't know how far a lead it is now.
No, she's behind by about 500 votes.
Well, if she's behind by 500 votes, that means that my boy seems to have done some serious work there. And if he gets out of the box, it's going to be hard to catch up with him.
Yeah, but he's leading by 500 votes.
Yeah, she might get some, but if she allow him to pass out, then it's going to be difficult for her to really continue.
But you must bear in mind that was a strong PNP seat.
Yes, it was always a PNP seat.
It was the PNP seat, so she got lucky because of Damon Crawford.
Yeah.
If Damon Crawford never went through his antics, he would have won that seat. But he castigated her, right?
It seemed as though he might win his seat in St. Catherine.
Yes. And that would be surprising. Yeah, but Chang had 25 seats from last year that he said he's going to win.
Oh, Chang said last year?
Yes, from 25 seats, yes. And he marked off Westmoreland.
So he had cancelled off Westmoreland?
Yes. But the Hanover seats for that trouble. I'm very surprised. When surprised when I look at
the East and Nova candidate surprised me because I really never have her among the winning crew, but she look as if they say she's going to take home the seats. So the 2 seats in Hanover likely to go to the PNP.
Look at the local government election. Local government election. They won the awesome regions.
Yes.
And the government had just built a 100-room hotel, the Princess Hotel.
Yes.
Where 5,000 people work on construction, and 3,000 people have permanent employment, and they lost a seat a week after the opening. So I've always said that, okay? And you know that is the birthplace of the former Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Yep.
PJ Patterson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
And Duncan had won that seat.
Duncan had won that seat before. Yeah, Duncan won that seat before.
And he was there for a long time too.
But you're saying the West is likely to come back to the PNP, but not the government?
Yes.
And usually when the PNP wins the West, they win the election.
Yeah, but the guy, the Minister of Agriculture, Fly Green, won that seat, which is a Belleville seat, and he won that seat. So, you know, so it got me very, very interested. And I see Western Catherine, Central, Northwest, Miss Steve for the JP, you're going to win that seat. Yeah.
Well,
2%, so.
Let us see how the whole... Oh, is that?
Donald Chilani going to be interested. Let us pay some close attention to Donald Chilani. We can McNeil and Tova.
Because
I don't think we can going to win a season.
I don't know. Tova was leading, but we can seem
to have taken... But we can mislead it.
Eh?
But we can mislead it by about 200 votes right now. About
300 and something votes, fine. Because she was leading before, and then now he has taken over the lead. But there are still a lot of boxes to be counted, maybe about 50 something boxes.
And Dalrymple to look like she's in trouble.
Who?
Dalrymple.
And
she gone ahead now.
She is likely to be in trouble. You know?
But she gone ahead now. Yes. They have to win that seat, and they can't win the election.
Dalrymple seat is kind of a seat that would help to put them, in a safe position.
Yes.
All right.
Omar Liver is behind by 100 votes.
Omar?
Oh yes, by 100 votes, 4,207. The lady have 4,400.
Yes.
You know the constitution very well, so you know it's going to be a magisterial court afterwards.
Yes, it's going to have to go to, if it's too close, it's going to go to magisterial recount, and then she's likely to get it with that. I see in St. Anne Northeast, St. Anne, Samuda has 8,142, and of course, and the Simpson guy has 5,873, so that's a Samuda seat. St. Anne Northwest, Morris Gabriel is leading with 4,720 votes, with Crystal Lee has 4,667. Very, very close, very, very tight. I don't know how many boxes left, but we have to check to see how many boxes left to be counted.
Yes.
Xavier Main, 4,047 against Denisha Williams, 3,136. Boxes 60 of 105. So they still have at least another 45 boxes to go. So we see how that unfolds. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll see how that unfolds.
So, it will be very interesting. Okay.
It says here McNeil has 4,468 while Hamilton has 4,132. So it's only a $300 vote difference. I know, man. They still have some more boxes left to count. Pat Moore is 846 and Dalrymple is 838. It's only 17 boxes count of 96.
Okay.
So we see how that unfolds, eh?
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Okay.
If you're just joining us, it's an election coming out of Jamaica, sponsored by our friends from Lewis Shipping Company of Fort Lauderdale. When you want to ship to anywhere in the Caribbean, choose Lewis Shippers. Reliable, reasonable, and of course, you get your goods in safe and wholesome condition. We have a situation where I don't hear much. I'm concerned about despite the Prime Minister seem to be leading. There are quite a number of boxes, about 47 boxes left in his constituency.
I'm surprised it's so close.
And
I'm really surprised.
You're surprised? You mean Buchanan?
Yes. I'm surprised if there's an upset here.
You know, it would be well, I don't know if you should say a travesty. If the election is won by the JLP, but the Prime Minister loses his seat.
Yes, that means the child will be the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
A tough time.
Who you say would be? Mackenzie?
Christopher Tufton.
But who else would be there to be able to fill that shoe if not Tufton? Chang? Well, Chang is not. Chang is it? But I don't see Chang taking over responsibility as Prime Minister. I don't know. You think the division inside they're not going to facilitate that?
No, you're right.
The division inside it might be a spin out between Bartlett and Chang. Bartlett and what's his name?
No, Bartlett don't want it, and Bartlett don't have the personality and the fortitude to be a Prime Minister. He doesn't travel too much.
He does what? He travels too much?
Yes, sir.
No. Hi. But if Bartlett is no Prime Minister, he determines what his timetable is enough to keep the tourism portfolio.
Yes, but
because there's what's his name there? Well, I don't know if he will win a seat, but he should. Save right.
Yes. She won a seat. I said Tova Hamilton gone ahead now. Okay.
Who that?
Tova Hamilton lead by 500 votes. 400 votes will come to Wickham.
Lead in Wickham. But there's still more votes to come. There's still more boxes to go.
Yes. But they're going on individual and now. She go with the seat.
Well, you know, if the seat is won by her, it means that the seat really gone Labour and no longer PNP.
Yeah, that's right. And she working on. She did some serious work. Do the couple won her seat against Gardner Webber.
Huh?
Do the couple won her seat.
Yeah, she won her seat. Because I hear she too, you know, despite her sometimes you know,
yes,
putting her foot in her mouth, so to speak. She seemed to have done some work in her constituency.
Yes, she did.
She has done some work in her constituency. And you can tell the people them who really do some work, you know, because it make a difference.
I think that she should be the Minister of Sports, the next regime. And because Babsy getting old and sick, so
yeah, Babsy is kingmaker. So she determines what she gets. And Mackenzie's there to back her up.
Yes.
Babsy now got gear sports unless Babsy decides this now. I have had enough and this is my last hurrah. So I just want to take it easy. Then she might
But I hear she got a by-election by next year March.
Oh.
She will make up her mind already. Babsy.
So she might just win this, but then wait till the by-election.
Yes, by-election, yes. She having a by-election. She's 77, you know, going 78.
I know.
She and you are the same age group. She and you are the same age group.
She and who?
She and you are the same age group.
She and you in the same age group? Okay, that's all right. I understand, but you don't sound too decrepit despite that.
Okay. Yeah.
We're talking to Dr. Robert Locke, political scientist and editor of the Caribbean Commentary newspaper.
From University of Michigan.
From Michigan, he's speaking to me from his chateau in Usavlaman. You know?
I was trying to go by the beach, by my beach.
I know you'd have wanted to go to the beach house at the elections, but you know the rains catch you, so you remain at the chateau. That's all right. Fine. And you send home the driver so you can be at home with your company. And that's all right. That's okay, Dr. Locke. That's okay. Our listeners don't want to get too close, get too much of your personal escapades.
Okay. Yeah.
No, but we are in
a very close election.
Yes,
it's a very close election.
Very close. And it might be just a 1 seat or a 2 seat win, you know.
But he was heard Margolin. The voters turnout wasn't high enough. The voters, for him to win easily, he will have to have 55% turnout.
So obviously the base was not properly mobilized.
But all these years, 5 years now, he been there, right?
But there was a lot of fluff, Rover. There was a lot of fluff. It's not the fluff you watch. At the sale in the market, as my granny always say. It's not the nice, it's the sale. And all those people for the last 4 years with Mark on the road. And Mark has worked. It's not that him don't work. Him damn well and work. Him go there. But again, the machinery, you see, you can't have a machine, you can't lead a group of people, you have too much personality and everybody go like say them a star boy. Because when you have too much star boy, you're going to have a problem with that.
It's true.
You know? PJ and Michael had a control, a hand in how the party run. Them run the party, that was just not the leader. And they were leading. But I don't know.
Yes. Mr. Miller, Montague is in trouble.
Oh, Bobby?
Bobby Montague, yes, my children vote. I said that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he loses his seat, you know. I wouldn't be surprised. Because I know the guy Newell was inside there making. And I get the feeling that some people are disgruntled with him.
Plus, the Prime Minister should have given back a cabinet position. You can't have the chairman of the party and he doesn't have a cabinet position. It's an insult to him. It's a slap in his face for the minor incident with the gun issue. That was about 3-4 years ago.
But Rovan, I hear you. And when I can empathize, I am not sure it was just that issue alone because there were still some other things that were being whispered, which I don't care to repeat now.
But the chairman of the party.
Notwithstanding. Are you going to take? But if some of your financiers say that we don't want to see on the front page, and they might finance the party, then the party leader is going to take them in queue from that because he want to know say when the time comes for the election he can get the wagga.
Yes, that's true.
But I don't know.
But I've said that, and I hold to it. The Prime Minister make Bobby position hard to wait to him at the seat.
But what's his name? The guy out of St. Catherine could say the same thing. Weekly.
No, well, really, it's a different thing. This time around, he got back in the cabinet. We know that well. His friends carry him wild.
But
and then he is the secretary of the party. He's a professor at the University of the West Indies. So, you know, so.
Yeah, but but think about if your party, well, I don't know. Because the Prime Minister don't even look like him have no shame or him done that until the election with all these things hanging around his head. But
what's hanging around the Prime Minister's head?
The Prime Minister is the Prime Minister and his And the commission have not yet certified this thing. Him should insist. You don't make sure.
Are you a political analyst, or journalist, or politician?
Listen, my argument is.
Mr. Miller,
Dr. Locke. Integrity must be shown and demonstrated, man. And the country is going to go to the dogs. That means that after this election, if them win again and him win it again, we might not have another election. Them just call you and say, give you money and you go vote.
Mr. Miller, I see you engage in convenient amnesia. And you forget the Batista regime from 1992 to 2006. They were corruption at the highest level.
All of them have corruption. I am not saying no. But when people...
And you have not stolen any money.
I never said the Prime Minister thief. He should not have allowed the election to call and never get his business certified. That's all I'm saying. He should make every effort. As the party leader and Prime Minister, he should have made every effort to make sure that his financial business was proved.
The Integrity Commission have egg on their face because the Integrity Commission couldn't find anything to get to prosecute him. So they sent it to the matter to the FID. That FID is not a part of the Integrity Commission. It was the Integrity Commission. And you know, the chairman then was a close friend of PJ Patterson and Errol Miller, the husband of Portia Simpson. Him and Errol Miller went to Russia together while I was going to manage. So it's a partisan decision by the chairman then of the Integrity Commission.
So what you're saying, so the entire damn Integrity Commission should have resigned?
Yes, because they're bringing them political loyalty to the PNP in looking at the man's record. They worried about
the Prime Minister.
They couldn't show anything that he stole anything. It was not jokes.
But Dr.
Locke, as long as it's not jokes, he don't put the hand in the...
What you are saying now is information that you might have privately, but the rest of the country don't know it, where you think there's political shenanigans. Why a man business was not certified. But it cannot be that a commission was going to insult the leader of the country that much by not certifying, unless there was something that cannot be certified, Rovan, man. The people, all of them are bright, smart, and intelligent people, and don't take away them integrity from them. So why wasn't it then approved?
Because they sent him to the FID.
And what did the FID say?
The FID is still looking at the documents. Okay? So, Mr. Miller,
Rovan, the man's situation, the jury is still out on it. I'm not going to take it on because it is not my call. Them have to deal with it, right? I'm only saying, but let us go down the road because our listeners are here and we want to be able to pick up some more results as it comes in because we want to know who wins. Right? The situation is just too unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. And facing the poll with that. But, like I said, if he loses his seat, then he has nobody to blame for that.
Yeah, that's very interesting though. But can I tell us he's going to win the seat?
Huh?
But can I tell us he's going to win the seat?
Well,
he tells us that last week.
And that he's going to win the seat?
Yes.
Well, let us see what happens.
Only by 400 votes. You're the Prime Minister and you only lead by 400 votes.
And that's why I'm saying because there's so much mud and dirt surround him. It may come Joseph him leave if he loses his seat. Well, let us put it this way. If the government loses the election, whether or not him losing his seat, he must go resign and put himself aside, becomes a liability.
Well,
he must have a liability.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yes.
Him is a liability. Too much things surround him. Whether or not it is true or false, there's too much of it. Perception in a Jamaica context is reality.
When we tell you, let's look at the vote now. Our thing is to look at the results. That's not the Prime Minister finances. So,
well, I don't know.
We get back later and see
what happened.
Half an hour. Okay, good. Thank you.
I'll talk back. All right, Dr. Locke, thank you for talking. Oh, that was Dr. Rovan Locke, political scientist, and he has some way with language and stuff on what he sees and how he sees things, and where he thinks something should happen and how it should happen. But I don't know. I just say that the man should never face the poll with so much garbage surrounding him. Miss Prime Minister, he must fix up, they put on clothes for him thing, man, and make the thing much more decent. We're coming to you live from Montego Bay. It's election night here in Jamaica. I'm in Montego Bay, and as the results come in, let me see, is there we have more results coming from anywhere else? Technician, hello sir, technician, is there, we have any more results coming from anywhere else that we can pass on to our listeners so we can know what's going on?
I think this is not a bad number,
but let us see what the number is like so people can hear. We haven't heard much from what's going on from some other places.
Really about a year and a half.
They're talking to
and what have you.
the pollster, Don Anderson, but I'm not sure this is that time to have too much of Don Anderson. Dean Jackson, I think the Don Anderson thing at this time is just going to create distraction and so on. Kingston and Western, Kingston Western is already called because the man only get 823 votes to Desmond McKenzie. It's a garrison, so we don't even look at the results of them. Desmond McKenzie's garrison and Brownburg garrison, you don't put out reports on those people because it's a foregone. Kingston Central, Donovan Williams 4,575 and Steve McGregor 4,377. This is a very tight one. Kingston, East Kingston and Port Royal, Paul Well 4,632 and Courtney is 1,023. That is almost another garrison, so therefore you don't report on some of these people's garrison. Yeah. Who else we might get anything from? So St. Andrew Western, Tony Hilton 3,981 to Corey Dunkley 2,673 and Carla Francis Eddie, what, 1 vote? Well, what can I tell you? She get? She get 48 votes? Well, she's lucky. All right, so Tony Hilton still remains in his seat and St. Andrew North. Katie Knight's daughter challenged the Justice Minister. Justice Minister has 4,884, while she has 3,000 and something done. It's 74 boxes out of 79. So the Justice Minister retains his seat. She has 355 so far. St. Andrew Southern, well, this is another garrison thing you don't discuss. The Mark Golden seat is 7,000 to 647. You don't report on that. So that's another garrison. These people in garrison, you don't report on that. St. Andrew Southern Eastern, Julian Robinson 5,401 to Kevin Fritt 3,137. Kevin is really ambitious though, and take on I'd seen a long-standing politician, but him they do too, but him get 3,000 votes. It's what. All the boxes are counted. Julian, hold on back to the seat. All the boxes are counted so far. So that's this. This is Delano Sivright, 4,346 to Christopher Henry, 2,465. Well, that's a JLP seat, which was held by Samuda. So it's expected that Delano Sivright would have won the seat. So he is now finally a member of parliament after trying for so much years and after such a long time. No, well, if the Prime Minister loses him seat and Bartlett turn Prime Minister, then Seabright can turn Minister of Tourism. St. Thomas Eastern, Evan Shaw 4356, Angela Charles 3912. Pernell Charles' daughter lose the seat. How many boxes there? 77 of 128. It's a little bit tight, yes, but the margin is wide. But not all that wide, when you look at it. It's just maybe about 600 or 700 votes. But let's see what happens, though. There are more boxes to be counted. And then we see before that one cannot be called yet. St. Thomas Western. Robinson James, 1899, and is, of course, Williams Hubert is 1703. 40 of 163 boxes. They have much more work to do. They're counting. That might not come in until late in the night because them they all the way out there, so and everybody down there dance coming now, so them now ready to figure count the vote yet. St. Thomas Western, James Robertson, Hubert Williams, 1899, James 1703 for Hubert Williams. All right, the vote continues. Anybody else? I see what we're going to. Clarendon Southwestern. Luther Cousins 7,076 to Robert Chin 4,795. Wow. Luther Cousins win the seat as a PNP. How many boxes count? 96 out of 100. So Cousins get that seat. So that's gone so far. We are seeing a kind of a map here which is giving us a look like the country is split in half and half. So we don't know. It's very much confusing. Pernell Charles Jr. 1431. Sean Barneswell 1005. 23 boxes of 144. So that is not over yet. A lot more work is to be done. So Pernell Charles cannot say he has won his seat. His sister lose for her seat, and he might jolly well just lose for his seat too. They are now traveling person to the Jamaica Labour Party headquarters after a time to hear what's going on there. Let me see if we can transition to the Jamaica to Dan Jackson on TVJ and hear where she is now with that.
And I think we still have to watch a few more seats before we can declare the winner of this election. But it is, in fact, a very competitive election, and it is exactly how we anticipated it would be.
All right, thank you so much, Don. And in fact, Clifford is saying he's not giving up the ghost yet.
No, not yet. I think there's still enough movement happening.
No reason to, because the fat lady has a song.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Don. We'll check back in with you later. So, what gives you hope?
I think from what I'm hearing now, from what I'm hearing is that many of our PDs haven't been counted as yet. So we're hoping that those are able to bring us and push us past.
Not hearing you, Clifford.
I was saying from what I'm hearing is that many of our PDs we haven't been counted as yet. So we're hoping that those will be counted and push us past the edge. But I think there's still hope for the BNP this election. It'll be a very close one as we're seeing, but there's still hope for us in this election.
Well, let's see what's happening at EOJ. Kalisha?
A national count would appear so far.
Thank you so much, Dion. An exciting night indeed. I don't have an update in terms of the voter turnout, but what I can tell you is that there have been some changes on the board. We're seeing now where the Jamaica Labour Party is leading in 36 of the constituencies, while the People's National Party is leading in 27. Now again, the Jamaica Labour Party
is now leading in 27
and the People's National Party leading in 27. Now we're seeing steady progress in terms of the counting, and earlier, Dion, we did mention that for St. Andrews South Eastern, 100% of the boxes have been completed, and in St. Andrew Eastern, 100% of the boxes completed as well. Now looking at some of the other constituencies, in Kingston East and Port Royal, 75% completed, and the People's National Party leading in that constituency. Now moving over to St. Ann North Eastern, and we're seeing where the Jamaica Labour Party is leading in that constituency, over 8,100 votes. The People's National Party 5,873 votes. Again, we're still waiting in terms of the final update in some of the areas. We're seeing where some constituencies, for instance, Clarendon South Eastern, only 15% of the boxes counted so far. In St. Catherine Southeastern, 21% of the boxes counted. Dion, I'll continue to monitor what's happening here and provide you with the latest figures as they become available. It's back to you.
All right, so we hear what is happening now. The JLP seem to be leading in 36 and the PNP in 27. But then that's what lead it is in terms of lead. Not there is no final results on that, and the dynamics of the situation can change, and the night is still young, so to speak. It will be interesting to see the seats which the JLP apparently might lose as against the ones that they will win, and which are the ones that the PNP will now pick up new, and if they would have lost any of their original seats that they had. Fine. But it's not done yet. I know they both had a battle royal on the campaign trail, and the PNP has been out there for a while. The JLP has been in government for a while. But about all of this is still an indictment on the government, because if they are government in power and you could not win with a better rather than having to come to this battle. it tells you that there are things that you have not done and you're not doing, and then how much of this is real genuine people going out to vote and not people that have been encouraged otherwise to vote on both sides for that matter. We don't know, but let us see where it finishes now. There are quite a number of other seats yet to be called and final votes to be looked at, and so within the next hour we will see a clearer picture as to who is the victor and the vanquished in this election results of tonight. So don't go away. Let me hear a little bit more what Diane Jackson is saying with her panel at this time.
Perhaps it's the Raytown boxes coming in now, but let's see what happens for the rest of the 5 or so that's outstanding.
East Kingston and Port Royal declared for Philip Paulwell of the PNP. And 77 votes there for the JPP candidate. Here's St. Andrew Western with Tony Hilton, 3,981 votes. To Corey Dunkley of the JLP, 2,673. Carla Francis Edie of the JPP, 48 votes. 72 boxes of 134. And here's Delroy Chuck in, I think this was already called for Delroy Chuck. So Stacey Knight, daughter of KD Knight, first time outing. St. Andrew Southern called as well for Mark Golding of the PNP, defeating Carlton Allen of the JLP, who polled 645 votes.
JLP Carlton Allen polled 6,645.
And we declared, this has been declared, all boxes counted for the PNP Julian Robinson. So let's see where we are going now. Here's North Central St. Andrew. The JLP's Delana Sivride, 4,346 votes. To the PNP's Christopher Henry with 2,465, with 59 of 79 boxes declared.
That
59 of
constituency will be
79.
having a new MP for the first time since 1980, I believe.
Yes.
Here's St. Thomas Eastern, 77 boxes of 128. The PNP is Yvonne Shaw, Rosemary Shaw, 4,356. To Michelle Charles, 3,912. Claudius Wong, 22 votes. Jovian Blair of the JPP, 13 votes. 77 boxes of 128.
Is this a seat you expected to hold on to, Mr. Walsh?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Eastern St. Thomas?
Yes, Eastern St. Thomas. I mean, the member of parliament did some work out there. First time
I'm
in
not
many
sure
ways.
they
They also had there was a lot of
that seat had a lot of situation and problems and issues out there. So I'm not sure the JLP can hold on to that seat.
Here's St. Thomas Western, 40 boxes of 163. The JLP's James Robertson, 1,899. Hubert Williams of the PNP, 1,703. Colleen Affleck of the JPP, 13 votes.
Was James Roberts is not comfortable here, so then? And there are still a lot of boxes to count, at least 70, almost
so far, so good.
80 boxes done.
Deputy leader of the Labour Party for Erie County 2, James Roberts.
So you may lose one in St. Thomas.
Then you lose two in St. Thomas.
Right now we're behind in that seat.
They're likely to lose two in St. Thomas.
Clarendon Southwest,
Clarendon
96
Southwest.
boxes out of 100. Lothan Cousins, 7,076 votes. Robert Chin of the JLP, 4,795.
You could easily almost call that seat for Lothan.
So we can call
96
that
of
one for Lothan
100.
Cousins.
Clarendon Southeastern.
And he's a really good MP.
Clarendon Southeastern, Charles Jr., 1,431.
Let's go over now to JLP
Barneswell,
headquarters, where Andrea Chisholm is on location.
1,005.
Thank you, Dion.
All right.
Things have gone exciting here
The
at
JLP headquarters. Now let us tune in to listen to this and hear the JLP's impression and feeling as to what it looks like for them.
Atmosphere here so far. I am now joined by two supporters who I interrupted their celebration. Aisha and Renardo, good night. You're live on TVJ. First of all, why was it important for you to be here this evening?
Just,
I hold the mic.
oh, we are confident of victory. And we are sure of at least 35 seats. So we have no other reason but to be at the Equator to celebrate this coming victory. Third term is here.
And you, Aisha, I know you have your bell right there.
Third term, we say. Third term, victory. Victory is ours. Feel nice, happy about everything.
Which constituency you voted today?
East.
Kingston.
St. Andrew.
Ah, and you?
The mother of it all, West Kingston. I'm right here.
And I'm pretty sure Desmond McKenzie will be winning back his seat.
No doubt about that.
So as the results come in, how are you feeling?
You know what? I'm actually feeling confident because the PMP numbers are not looking impressive as how we have started to have been for the last 12 months. So far the numbers are looking
Okay, so they have been accessing the
how I would
PMP
like it to come in.
And it's a family affair for you. You're here alone?
No, I'm here. I'm actually two of my nephews and my little cousin.
What about you, Aisha?
With friends. I'm here with friends.
Okay.
Rest of them soon come.
All right, going back to ringing.
We're listening to coverage here from Antigua Bay here of the general elections in Jamaica, sponsored by our good friends from, of course, Lewis's Shipping and Company in Fort Lauderdale. Fine. We're going to go to a break in a minute. When we come back from the break, the election results continue, and we'll get a chance to see what kind of landslide is there. What kind of changes will happen.
It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Hey, everything raise, but we won't live and fret. When the air that we breathe becomes thick with death, then we know, Jaja guide, we will never fret. Whenever you're ready, we're ready. No more spot check. Whether you're light, when you're heavy, have pure respect. Lord, 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 no war. No war. Yeah. Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Who is worthy? Who is worthy? It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Poor people cry. It's the right of senior citizens to vote by upon them constitution. Long time it did a joke. We are fed up with promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty, photos closed. No one harm, no one choose the color half them close, y'all. Some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Ooh, really be sad. Is it a misplaced melancholy? Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My people may talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, fallen sufferers. Rise and take your stance again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me attack. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of a citizen to vote. I upon them constitution. Last time it did a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote house closed. No one arm, no one chew the color of them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah. If it's Rasta, them talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, got me here, yeah. Krypton has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Oh, yeah. Couldn't be nuclear power. Should really be sad. Is it a misplaced melancholy? Well, it's politics time again. once again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me attack. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of a citizen to vote. I upon them constitution. Last time it did a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote house closed. No one arm, no one choose the color of them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah. If it's Rasta, them talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, got me here, yeah. Krypton has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Ooh, yeah. With the nuclear power. It's politics time again. Well, are you gonna vote now? Good people need talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Ooh. And a little one, we want. And a little preach, we preach. Still they bust up their big guns on the street, Lord. Killing people, it's all they really see. Who is it that I'm is speaking? Who is it that is controlling the system? Three parties and I'm not dancing. Who is it? Who is she? No, who is the Mr. Him? Yeah, it's your campaign time again now. Ooh, yeah. Well, it's politics time again. The people are gonna cry now. Ooh, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Hey, everything raise, but we won't live and fret. When the air that we breathe becomes thick with death, then we know, Jaja guide, we will never fret. Whenever you're ready, we're ready. No more spot check. Whether you're light, whether you're heavy, have pure respect, Lord, no war, no war. Yeah, well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Who is worthy? It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Poor people cry. It's the right of senior citizens to vote by upon them constitution. Long time it did a joke. We are fed up with promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote house closed. No one harm, no one choice.
Welcome back, all my friends in South Florida. I'm your host, Tenny Miller, and the program is Tenny Miller Election Watch Night. And it's not just watch. What we're looking at and we are trying to understand is how the people voted today for the government of their choice for the next, 5 years. And the candidates who really, based on the work that they put in, who are the victors and who are the vanquished. And exactly how it will end at the end of the night or in the morning as to which party will stand supreme or triumphant. And it looks like we don't know yet. It can be anybody's call right now because there are quite a number of seats that have not been declared yet. So they said there's no way of determining which side is likely to win outright. It now looks somewhat in favor of the Jamaica Labour Party, but then it's anybody's guess. Sorry. So we just have to work with it until it all finishes out. We are hoping that whatever the results will be, the party or both parties would realize that the people have a concern and the people is serious about change, and that things cannot be be the same as before. There's got to be some serious revolutionary changes, both in terms of the government and in terms of the opposition. And the government would have to realize that it's not business as usual. You're not going to have 41 members of parliament today before you can do any damn thing you want to do. I feel you're going to get away with it. It's going to be very, very tight. Fine? Because you might just have if whoever wins, it's going to be by a 1 seat or a 2 seat majority, not by a landslide. So nobody will feel that they have a honeymoon and they have a blanket thing to as they feel. It's a time when the generation is changing, and we're having a high rate of people who are reaching the threshold of retirement, but we're not having enough young people, the population is not expanding to facilitate and to deal with the level of growth that one would hope the country will need to go through and take place so that we can put ourselves economically and otherwise on a strong footing, both in terms of the skills and the knowledge and the workforce and the manpower, and the income and wealth generation in the country to be able to put us into that sphere as like any other country that is developing. Developing growth and rate might be perhaps slower than others. I don't know. I'm not the economist here, but we're just looking at the thing. But so whichever government takes, it's not a walk in the park. It's not a honeymoon. Them go have to sit down seriously and decide, so what, the people don't want the same rubbish, so therefore we have to come good and come with something solid. And if the PNP win them, we realize what, we are going to take over a situation that is going to be very serious, so we have to go really do something serious. I don't know what's the story with the seat in St. James here with Eroy and Janice Hallin. We haven't seen or heard much from that seat. We're going to have to check it out and see where that is going, if Janice will win. Seems as though the only 2 seats one seat that we might get so far in St. James is that of Nikisha Burchell and maybe Andre. We're not sure. Andre Horton, the deputy spokesperson for finance at the PNP, and we're not sure of anybody else. Certainly the other 2 seats, Ed Bartlett would have copped his already, and that's gone through the window. Alan's seat is already taken by the Horace Strong. We haven't heard much coming out of there with Horace Strong and thing, but it's a foregone conclusion that Horace Strong would have actually won that seat. So the speaker, Eroy, if he has a major lead on Janice, then that's where it says, there's no way you're going to stop him after that. So we'd have only gotten 1 seat in St. James, and that's the seat with South St. James. How that will make up the numbers to give the PNP enough traction and enough positioning in the West is another story. Hope that they will have enough to help them to be able to be a force to reckon with in the parliament. Certainly, they'll have more than 14, so therefore they might have 24 or 28 or 29. So therefore, they should be of a greater force to reckon with and to make greater representation and to demand more on and off the government and expect to get greater and better results. So we watch and see how that unfolds. Let me see what are some of the results that are there now. We already see Crawford with 4,328 and of course Amos with 3,598 and Lloyd Smith 12. Where they go from here? Let me look at it. What's happening over there?
St. Andrew East Central, 63 boxes of 113. Dennis Gordon of the PNP, 3,301. Davian Bassel of the JLP, 2,774. Princess Ford of the JPP, 57. You are saying this is Peter Phillips' old constituency.
Young candidate, going well so far, going well. Mr. Bassel.
DK Duncan's constituency in another lifetime as well.
Here's Juliet Holness, St. Andrew East Rural, 77 boxes of 137. She has 4,925 votes to the PNP's Patrick Peterkin, 4,545. Kamisha Hendricks, 29 votes of UIC. Purchell Jackson of the JPP, 23 votes.
Speaker of the House.
Former.
Yes.
I don't think we've seen this one for a while. St. Andrew West Rural, 124 boxes of 140. And the incumbent, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, with 7,152. To Joan Gordon Webley of the PNP, 6,213. George Roach of the JPP, 62 votes.
And only 16 boxes to go.
Yeah, Earl, let me let you take over.
Manchester North Eastern, Audrey Marks of the PNP, 56%, 6,472 votes. To Valentin Wint of the PNP, 5,144. Clive Warren of the JPP, 30. That's a seat that was dominated by Audley Shaw for quite a while. And Manchester North Western, 83 of 104 boxes. Michael Phillips of the PNP, 5,625. Damian Young of the JLP, 4,521. Tricia Stewart Angus of the JPP, 28 votes. St. Elizabeth Southeastern, Norman Scott continues to lead, but is only 17 of 109 boxes. He has 1,004 votes to Franklin Witter, 991. Raymond Dobbs of the JPP, 11 votes. St. Catherine Eastern, Denise Daly of the PNP, 6,589. Dwight Peku rather, of the JLP, 4,387. Lance Watson of the JPP, 74 votes. Clarendon Northern, Wabel Hines continues to lead there. It's 81 of 100 boxes, and he has 4,380 votes to Dwight Sibley's, the incumbent of the JLP, 4,303. Jody Lynn Casey Edwards of the JPP, 19 votes. Clarendon North Central, Robert Morgan seems to be headed to retaining that seat, 85 of 104 boxes, 4,527 votes for Robert Morgan, and R.J. Dixon, 3,406. Joy Johnson Roy, 24 votes, and she's from the JPP. And in Clarendon Southeastern, 25 boxes of 144, Pernell Charles Jr. continues to lead handily with 1,639 votes to Sian Barnswell, 1,132 votes. Sian Thomas of the JPP, 12 votes. St. Catherine Northwestern, Damian Crawford, 4,608 votes for the PNP, and Newton Amos for the JLP, 3,781. Lloyd Smith of the JPP, 13 votes, 89 boxes of 122. St. Mary's Southeastern, very close. Norman Dunn, the incumbents, 3,678. Christopher Brown of the PNP, 3,577. Mark Hutchinson of the JPP, 12 votes, 63 of 112 boxes. St. Mary's Central, Omar Newell of the PNP, 5,904 votes. Nathaniel Mirage of the JLP, 4,345. Rena Rose Cargill, 11 votes for the JPP, 85 of 105 boxes. That would be a hold for the PNP. St. Mary Western, Robert Montague, the incumbent, 3,641, doing very well against Omar Woodbine of the PNP, 5,683 votes. Chase Neal of the UIC, 22 votes, 99 of 147 boxes.
Chairman of the party is looking good. Yeah, he's looking really good.
And Kingston Central, 75 of 80 boxes. The incumbent, Donovan Williams, seeking to hold it for the JLP, 4,575 votes. Steve McGregor of the PNP, 4,377 votes. Garth Barnett of the UIC, 22 votes. Dwayne Smith in St. Andrew Northwestern, 4,402 votes. To Ethelene Miller Simpson of the PNP, 3,293 votes. Orlando Robinson of the JPP 79 votes, and that is 80 boxes of 112 counted.
Okay, let's just take a pin, take a break, and we'll be back with much more results. All the latest.
As I watch and I look at the boxes, you know, and the count, and one thing I realized that a lot of those marginal seats now can go either way, because the lead up either PNP or JLP is not that much, and right now you have more JP apparently seem to be leading PNP, but not that much, and there are substantive amount of boxes left to be counted. And if they're going to have more boxes to be counted, then what it is saying is that the PNP is likely to can pick up another 3 or 4 seats somewhere. And if they're going to pick up 3 or 4 seats somewhere, what you're saying is therefore then that if the PNP gets 30 to 31 seats out of the 64, fine? There are 64 seats, and the PNP might end up getting 30, 31. The JLP will only therefore win by what? 2 or 3? So win by 3. And if they win by 3, then it's a tight election. If the PNP win at this rate, they probably might just win by 1 seat. They would only win by 1 seat. Maybe 2, but by 1. And then, of course, the argument about magisterial recount and going to court, and, you know, and depending on the ones that go to court will determine, you know, how the government will function and who becomes the government. If it becomes that close, because if it go to court and the court overturns some things, then they're going to have a problem. Well, because one government might be declared, yes, we are government, and if you have too much magisterial recount, and then it goes to, and it gets changed over, and then the court agrees and it changes hands, you might become government today, and in a week or a couple of weeks time you get thrown out. So it is very tight and it's very fickle. And then what you don't want the population to reach a point whereby we're going to be at each other like that, because you still have some idiots and half idiots and 3/4 idiots out there who will take the law into their own hands and say, boy, no, and you can't go, so I'm a party winner of my part. And the next year, it reaches a point where we don't want to reach. But then that's just speculation anyway. So we just say, let me hope that good sense will prevail, and let me see how God have the numbers work out, and where him say if it happen, and if I saw him say, make us see how it go and how long it's going to be there for. Samuda has been declared the winner for the seat that he has out there. Right? So far, the seat within the Prime Minister and Mr. Buchanan, I am concerned about that. I'm looking at whether or not Mr. Buchanan can unseat the Prime Minister. I don't know how many boxes I've counted yet, but I hear it's a battle going on down there. Buchanan has 51% of the vote, and the Prime Minister have 49% of the vote. So it is anybody's call. 4,867 vote for Buchanan, and it's 4,762 for the Prime Minister. And maybe this is how them want to fall. He is going to be fallen. So that him wanted him get it big. Fine? So, but we don't know. Let us say, let me see how many boxes left to count, and then exactly what the whole thing will turn out to be at the end of the day. The Prime Minister loses his seat, then he has no one else to blame but himself, because he's put himself up there and thought he was above the law and above integrity and above respectability and above the nation. And you can't put yourself out there so far. But let us see what happens. It's early days yet. We can't just talk and speculate. And we want to say in the next I'm going to carry whoever it is to court to say, no, I'm a winner, not you. Let me see what's happening down there. Done in St. Mary. St. Mary Central, Omar Newell is 7,194 and Maraj is 5,760. So some changes are taking place there. Let me hear what the answer, because there are some changes that are likely to come that might be far-reaching. All right, let me hear what they are saying.
People's National Party is back to leading at 29 seats and the Jamaica Labour Party 34 seats. I'm going to move over to this chart to my right, and one of the constituencies we've been monitoring closely, Dion, that's Trelawney Northern. As you know, in the last general election, the Jamaica Labour Party won that seat. It was a surprise for many people because the Jamaica Labour Party had not won that seat in decades. And we're seeing now the People's National Party's Wickham McNeil leading in that constituency, 6,637 votes, to the Jamaica Labour Party's Tova Hamilton, 5,686 votes. Another constituency, Dion, that we have been monitoring closely, that's Manchester Central, where the Jamaica Labour Party won for the first time in decades in 2020. But what we're seeing now, well, it's still close in that constituency. Just 130 of the 139 boxes counted, and the Jamaica Labour Party Jamaica Labour Party's Rhoda Moy Crawford leading by 8,399 votes to the PNP's 8,314 votes. I'm going to ask the videographer to just come with me to the other screen I'm looking at right now. Going again to St. James Southern, another one we've been watching. We're seeing where the People's National Party has a slight lead in that constituency. The Nikisha Burchell leading their 5,870 votes to the former mayor Homer Davis, 5,644 votes. Going now over to St. Thomas Eastern, and we're seeing where the People's National Party's Yvonne Shaw, she's leading by 6,600, well, her tally now is 6,604 votes to the incumbent, Dr. Michelle Charles, 6,177 votes. Another one that people have been watching, and many people are saying that it seems as if it is a surprise to them. We're seeing for Portland Eastern, the People's National Party is leading in that constituency. As many people know, the Jamaica Labour Party's Anne-Marie Vaz won that division, that constituency in 2020 after a 30-year drought for the Jamaica Labour Party, and Isaac Buchanan of the People's National Party is leading in that constituency, 96 of 140 boxes counted. Now, Dion, overall, we're seeing an 85.2% of the boxes completed, and I'll have some more updates for you as soon as they become available. But again, Dion, the race is heating up. It's back to you.
It's heating up, yes, tremendously. Because some
Thank you so much, Kalisha, and it certainly is. And you heard Kalisha there saying the numbers are continuing to shift from 3330 to back to 3429.
So it's 24-29 now. 34 JLP ones look like they are in lead to the PNP 29.
Would be a bit of a shake-up.
Upset.
Many people expected Anne-Marie Vaz, the incumbent, to hold it fairly easily, but we did see that Isaac Buchanan was mounting a serious
Wayne
challenge.
Smith in St. Andrew Northwest, 4,795 to Miller Simpson, 3,558.
Perhaps it should not be surprising that it is this competitive.
Yeah, it's a seat the PNP used to win by.
Well, they are at RGR now speculating that the Vaz should win back the seat, but they say it was a PNP seat before. Just like the seat in Trelawney, North Trelawney, was also a PNP seat. And it so happens that those seats now
So what we're seeing now
went to the JLP for whatever reason, and then now seem to be coming back home to where they belong.
the entire western belt of the
So,
country to
we see what happened.
orange, because it was never really a green space. So Westmoreland 3.
So 3 seats in Westmoreland.
Dayton Campbell over 1,000, which is how they used to win there, except in 2020 when Luther Buchanan lost by 11 with Central.
So sorry to interrupt you, just to say this is another one that's now completed. The PNP's Richard Azan taking Clarendon Northwestern over the JLP's Warren Newby, with Azan having polled 6,989 votes to the JLP's Warren Newby
6,490. So you don't have to question that. Okay. We want to see what are the seats now that have very little left to do. Westmoreland seat is now clear. So the General Secretary has won his seat clear and fair of 121 boxes. Fine. Vaz also now wins his seat again of the PNP by 9,869 as against Wright 8,326. And George Wright is a man who beat him wife in a public. Beat him woman in a public, then him got married too often because it looked bad. Westmore Westland also now is gone back into the PNP hands. And Hills as is what? Yes, 6,454. Well, so Westmoreland is clear, Lair PNP territory once again. But the JLP is holding on tightly to St. James. St. Anne's.
5,069 votes.
Xavier Main is going to win his seat as before.
Clive Edwards 28 votes, and that's 73 boxes of 105.
105 and 73, that's still a lot of boxes left to count, you know. No, this girl, there's a seesaw going here now between these two. Gabrielle Morris to Crystal Lee.
Here at the moment with a lead with 7,346. Gabriella Morris, our first time out, 6,924.
Wow.
That's 10 boxes left to count.
With 10 boxes left to count, and it's a difference between like, what, 300, 400, 300 and something. With, let's see, with 10 boxes, you know, things can happen. So, they are going to, what is that, the JLP headquarters, PNP headquarters. Okay. There also, she's back at the JP headquarters.
Why was it important for you to be here tonight?
Celebrate our victory.
Where did you vote?
I voted in St. Anne Northwestern for Crystal Lee.
So how is the trend looking for you based on what you picked up so far?
Well, we always knew it would have been a close race, but we put in the work. Crystal has done phenomenally well in the one term. 2 years stolen by COVID, but she's done phenomenally well in terms of the infrastructure, the services, the roads, I mean, the health centers, all of the wonderful things that Crystal has done, the water projects with amazing stuff compared to what has gone before. So our constituency really has seen a difference.
All right, thank you so much.
Sorry?
Thank you so much. I know it's difficult to hear me. So that's the scene here at the JLP headquarters yard. Maybe I could just get another supporter. Can you talk to me? Hi, good night. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
What's your name?
Zachary.
Okay, I see you celebrating. You think you won?
Yes, I do. I'm very confident for the JLP.
It's not yet too early to declare.
Too early, that doesn't really mean much right now because we're confident we've put in the work. We have the achievements to prove that we deserve the third term. So Dr. Holness will return as well as our MPs.
Thank you so much. Well, that's the mood here at the JLP headquarters, Leon. I'll check in with you a few moments later.
As you hear in the background, they are checking both party offices, the JLP office. I suspect they're going to be going to the PNP office, but then right now we have some more numbers coming in. St. Catherine, Southwestern. Yeah, they're going fast, so we're trying to pick up the results coming in from the center, but it's running too fast. Fitz-Jackson, we can't understand exactly who is winning, who is going, who is doing what. Okay, so St. Elizabeth Southwestern. Floyd Green seemed to have done retain his seat 9,044 against Wellington 7,650. 113 boxes, 106 of 113 counted. So basically, he would have won that, hands down. Only because she's at 7 and he's at 9, so not much to come in after that. What's going on here with Charles in Clarendon? 27 boxes of 144 boxes. This is a lot left to do. Charles might be in problem. Sean might be in problem. We're not sure yet. Sean Barneswell. So we see how that folds and unfolds in another hour or two. Or we might have to close off before and then you'll get the rest of the results tomorrow. Webel Hines 5,624 to Sibley's 5,407. And of course that's 95 of 100 boxes. Let's see if the five boxes can create much of a difference to that. Shaw is 65597 to 6188 St. Thomas Eastern. Charles is in the doghouse with a difference of almost 300 votes. So let's see what happens here. But Shaw of the PNP is in the lead. James Robertson is at 6836 and Hibbert Williams of the PNP is at 5698. Clearly James Robertson is going to be retaining that seat. Is 125 seats of votes counted. I beg your pardon. 129 PDs counted of 163. So therefore they still have at least another 23 to go. St. Andrew West Central, the constituency of the Prime Minister, Buchanan at 4,867. Andrew Holness 4,762 with 87 of 105 boxes count. Still a little bit tight race here. 7 to 8 is just a matter of 190 something votes difference. But Buchanan is a resolute man and he came to win. So let's see what happens. Manchester, Audrey Marks. She get a hands down win from the seat that was occupied by Audley Shaw. 6,589 as against 5,207. So the situation with the Prime Minister and Paul Buchanan is going to be a very, very tight one. And I'm sure that the Prime Minister has not left the constituency. He's making sure that he stays there and supervises every single possible PD and get everything up because he does not want to lose his seat. But, faith might have it. Sometimes, despite what you think you want, you don't get it because of what you never get. And you take it. Or you're never supposed to get and you take it. Clarendon Southeastern, Charles Jr. 9207 against Barneswell 7770 now. Wow. With 140 of 144 boxes count well. Charles Jr. is now the lead in that seat. So he gets back his seat. Sean Barneswell put up a fight, but it's 7772 against 9, then you can't beat that. Box 140 of 144 left. Okay. And James Robertson is way ahead with over 9,000 votes as against Hubert Williams of 7,000 votes. So again, the JLP hold that seat again. James Robertson, a sitting member of Parliament. St. Elizabeth Northeastern, 8,233 for the Jess of the PNP when it is 7,693 for Slowly of the JLP. Let us see how that finishes. It's 124 boxes of 125 counted. And she has 8,000 to his 7,693. That's 8,002. Let us see if the difference with 5 boxes can make with that kind of a voting. Interesting. So Jess is holding on to our life there now. Wow. That's a very tight one there. 124 boxes counted. Wickham McNeil. Wow. Whoa. This one seems to be going seesaw now. No, this seesaw now, he says here, Hamilton has 8,062 votes as against Wickham McNeil, 7,788. Wow. Of 145 boxes of 146 counted. Wow. So that means that she would have taken the cake. Well, we don't know. It depends on what the last box brings. You know, depends on what the last box brings. Because she was 8,062. He has 7,786. So let us see how this one. This is a very tight race and a very tight fight. And this one is going to have to go for a photo finish. 145 as against 146. 145 counted as against 146. Then that needs a photo finish to decide exactly who is the winner right there. That's a very, very tight one. St. Andrew East Central. Gordon. Dennis Gordon as against Vassal. Gordon is 6,425. Vassal is 3,940 something. St. Andrew West. Cuthbert Flint 7,909 as against Joan Gordon Webley 6,994. How many boxes? Count 136 of 140. Not much boxes left to determine, maybe about 4 or 7. St. Andrew Northwest. Smith is 5,648 to the PNP. William Miller with Simpson 4,124. Up on the boxes 101 of 112. They have 11 boxes to go. We see how that one works out. St. Andrew East Rural. Juliet Holness 8445 to Peter King 7487. 123 boxes off 137. So it's tight. We see what happens. 7-4 that. Yeah. There's a difference of 1,000 votes, so therefore we're not sure how well he's going to be able to catch up with that. Fine. There's a big difference of 1,000. Portland Eastern. Buchanan at 7932 as against Vaz. Anne-Marie Vaz at 7699. So that is going to be a very difficult one yesterday. Portland Eastern. Vaz can lose her seat easily. Over in Portland West, Darrell Vaz 6,902, Campbell 4,800. That's a different. Darrell Vaz would have won that seat. Fine. So we're not sure yet. Fine. We have a caller online here. Yes, caller. Good afternoon. You are live on Flex Radio. Talk to me.
Yes. Well, I'm calling from overseas.
Yes.
Okay. I'm happy that Miss Burchell has won her seat.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she has she has polled 6,398 as against Oma 6,211, and it's 109 boxes of 110 boxes. So basically, she seemed to be the she's gone clear. I don't know how much it will change from with one box to go. Fine, but we see how that works itself out.
Okay, so do you know where that box is?
No, I don't know if it's maybe a box. Let me hope it's. We don't know if it's a Catadupa box or it is a anchovy box, but it depends on where the box comes from will determine how she sings.
What number box is that? Can you tell me?
No, I'm not able to tell you, but I'll find out and then and then if anything, I can broadcast it and then let you know. You could call me back on it.
Okay. Does that mean that it is?
Well, it is 100. It's 109 boxes count already, and there are 110 boxes, and then she has 6,300 and something to almost 6,200 and something, and therefore then she is in the lead by about 180 something votes, but then we don't know what the next box will bring, and that one box might be the last ball of the last ball of the match, and they need 6 runs to win.
Yeah, well, I'm doubtful that whatever box that is, the JLP would come back to win that seat. It's not possible.
It's not possible. Well,
so we can declare so. Yes.
We can declare so. Well, I thank you for your confidence and your face, and I will make sure that I congratulate her when I get the final word from the counting house. Thank you so much for your call, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Good. There you have it. A caller calling out about South St. James to find out exactly what's going on and whether or not he obviously he's a supporter of Miss Burchell, no doubt. So he wants to ensure that he is satisfied that she seemed to have won. So let us go where that is. Fine. It's early days yet. It's still early. It is only 10:10. We should be going up until 11 o'clock, and after 11 o'clock, whether we call it a day, whether or not the counting is through. But then at 11 o'clock, we'll have a clearer picture if exactly, yes, the JLP has won or the JLP is the winner by the amount of seats that would have been confirmed by the electoral office. And then those that are unconfirmed, depending on the number, will determine whether or not the government, whoever it seemed to be leading, can confidently say, yes, we have won, until when the other seats are finished, whether tonight or tomorrow. And when that is done, if there's going to be magisterial recounts, then the various campaign managers would have to make those kind of decisions, and so that the courts can get that matter to deal with dispatch sometime throughout this week, so that they can have that recount and it can be certified that yes, whoever is the winner, or if they're not the winner, and declare who the rightful winner is, and then so that they can go ahead and form the government, unless the situation is just a little bit overwhelming. So irrespective of how many other seats to be called, it would make a difference, and then they can go forward from there. It is coverage here. It's election night coverage. Thanks to our good friend Lewis Shipping of Lauderdale, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Lewis Shipping is located on 16th Street on the right hand side, just as you pass the UPS facility there. You can find them right there, and you go there for any kind of shipping concerns or shipping needs you have, and they'll be able to take care of you with style, with courtesy, and certainly with a lot of safety and security for your precious goods, because they consider each person's stuff theirs, and they handle it with care. The coverage continues. We are also, like I say, sharing the information via also with TVJ, so that we monitor what they do, because they are the major broadcasters for the election for Jamaica this year, and they are going on number of platforms, and of course we have the pleasure of sharing with them.
Ongoing live coverage of the 2025 elections for 2025. We got a statement from Flo a little while ago, so in case you've been having problems, Flo Jamaica has reported
so Raymond hasn't won his seat after all.
Which they say has disrupted internet, landline, and TV services
yes.
for numerous customers in the areas of St. Catherine, Maypen, and Mandeville. And they said the section of fiber cable.
She just just apologizing on behalf of Flo, because Flo has created havoc with internet service across the country during this coverage. A lot of people suffered. We shut down earlier for almost 20 minutes by virtue of the fact that we had this problem with internet connectivity and so on. So the St. Catherine East Central seat now is finished. The counting is done. Box 98 of 98 has come in, and Alonda Terry Long 6,364 with Raymond Price 5,379. Sorry. Well, let's see what happens after that. Well, Janella Maitland has a comment. I don't know if she's at the constituency there.
I'm on the Newlands Main Road in St. Catherine East Central, where Jamaica Labour Party voters are in high celebration mood. Now, TV at a shop right now is the main attraction, and that's because they're watching the live results right now. Crowds of people just swarming around TV.
So she's outside of Terry Lang's office.
The latest data that I had, Alanda Terry Lang was comfortably winning, and I just saw now from their TV that he was declared the winner. So as you can hear in the background, lots of excitement here on the Newlands Main Road.
Okay, so they are the constituency office, so the member of parliament for that section of St. Catherine East Central. Winner Alanda Terry Long, and he has won by a comfortable majority. So Raymond Price have to go back to the drawing board. Yes. Okay. They say Terry Lang must go along, gone along. Okay. She's excited now. Okay. Oh, that's good. If the member of parliament work, then he deserves to return. If the member of parliament has satisfied his people and he worked well, and obviously that is what is reflected at the polls, fine. Raymond would have to just go back to the drawing board and come back and wheel and come again. Fine. Yes. So he has defeated Raymond Price. Okay, so we see what happens. So whether or not Raymond Price is going to run again or he's going to run home. Or if not, he's get appointed as senator to be able to do some things on the PNP side. But then, depending on how many people lose and who they might want to reward with such responsibilities and privileges. But no, the EOJ is going to give us some report now. So let us pick up that report from the EOJ.
Almost at the finish line, 93% of all the boxes counted, and earlier it's similar to what we saw in the previous update. The Jamaica Labour Party was leading by, well, it was 32-31 at one point, and now we're seeing it back at 30 to 33. So the Jamaica Labour Party leading in 33 constituencies to the People's National Party's 30. An interesting one, Dion, that you pointed to earlier. We're going to go to it. Just we're seeing in St. Andrew West Central, the Prime Minister's seat, we're seeing the People's National Party's candidate Paul Buchanan leading in that seat, and we have 87 of the 105 boxes counted. So it's almost 82% completed, and we're seeing the People's National Party's candidate leading in the Prime Minister's constituency. And we're going to move over now to St. Andrew Northwestern, where we're seeing the People's National Party's candidate Ethne Miller Simpson. She is trailing the Jamaica Labour Party's candidate Dwayne Smith in that constituency. Going down now to St. Andrew West Rural, where we're seeing, well, the Jamaica Labour Party's candidate, the incumbent Juliet Cuthbert Flynn. She is leading in that constituency to 8,290 votes to the People's National Party's candidate Joan Gordon Webley, 7,157 votes. Now, should the incumbent hold on to this seat, it will be the second time the Jamaica Labour Party has had 3 consecutive wins in that constituency in St. Andrew West Rural. And going over now, if the videographer could just come with me, we're going to St. Ann Northwestern, where we're seeing the People's National Party's candidate Gabriella Morris at 6,989 votes to the Jamaica Labour Party's candidate 7,383 votes in that constituency. Final one, Dion, before I come back to you. In Portland Eastern, we're seeing the Jamaica Labour Party's candidate still trailing the People's National Party's candidate Anne-Marie Vaz, 8,072 votes to the People's National Party's Isaac Buchanan, 8,290 votes. So as I said, we're almost there, almost at the finish line for this evening, Dion. 93% of the boxes counted, and again, the People's National Party leading in 30 seats, the JLP leading in 33 seats. It's back to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So that is really kind of where it is likely to end.
Global picture of what is happening. 33 to 30, and you heard as well, it seemed to have been moving a little bit up and down, but the latest figures there, 33
to 30,
in which the JLP is leading.
And if it confirms that the furthest it will go is 30,
this is
31 to 32.
126 of 128. And okay, this has been declared now for Rosemary Shaw of the PNP. The incumbent Michelle Charles has lost this seat, 7,284 at this point to Yvonne Shaw, and the JLP is Michelle Charles, 6,807.
And of course, in the Portland City, just one box left to be counted.
Here, and Buchanan, 8,290 votes. This is what Kelisha just read for us, but I wasn't sure.
8,290 votes to the JLP, 8,072.
Left to count, in fact, in Portland,
Manchester.
Eastern.
And in Manchester Central, Crawford.
Okay.
It's going to be a challenge because the PNP person is 8,860.
has held on to
So
defeat
Rhoda Crawford
Donovan
has held
Mitchell.
on to the seat, yes.
She secured 9,035 votes to Donovan Mitchell 8,861. So that's one hold in Manchester for the JLP.
Strong candidate, hard-working member of parliament.
Yeah.
She
And of
deserves
course, so
to
therefore,
go back to
Manchester,
parliament.
then the JLP would have no Rhoda Crawford,
one of
and of
Jamaica's
course,
best talent in the parliament.
Aubrey Marks.
Manchester Northeastern.
Yeah, she
and
also
Audrey
has held on
Marks
to the
has taken it.
Audition seat.
7,652
But that's
votes to
expected
Valentine
because that's a
Wing
strong
of the
Jamaica Labour
PNP,
Party seat.
6,000.
So she would have been
209.
expected
Clive
to
Warren
win that
of the
seat.
JPP, 33 votes.
Wow. Now, this is an
And
interesting
it's
one.
tightening again in St. Andrew West Central, the Prime Minister's constituency. Paul Buchanan, 4,867
67.
to Dr. Andrew Holness,
4,762.
That's 50.5% to 49.5%.
That means that he is trailing by about 100 and something votes. Is the
Down in Northern, and you have Toba Hamilton, the incumbent, leading Dr. Wickham
but this is interesting.
7,408 to McNeil, 7,198, 131 of
So
146
there's a different
boxes.
that's 200. So she's leading by 200, but then they have at least another
St.
25 to 30
James
boxes
Southern,
left to be
Nikisha
counted.
Birchall of the PNP continues to lead.
Completely.
Oh, in fact, I didn't see the tick.
It's been
It's
declared.
completed, so she has won it for the PNP.
So-
That's one pulled back.
So
for the
Nikisha
PNP.
Birchall has won the
Lost
seat for the
last
PNP
time.
at 6,483 as against Omar at 6,276. You can't complain with that. You don't need a magisterial recount for this one. That one's at fit and complete. St. James.
West Central, 71 of 106 boxes. Marlene Malahu Fort, 4,193 to Andre
Yeah,
Houghton of the PNP,
3,633.
3,633.
But they
And
still
Edward
have at
Barnett
least 30 boxes
has
left to be
15
counted.
Votes.
Or 27 boxes left to be counted.
And
Well,
of
that
course,
can go anywhere.
The election is really down to the wire.
Well, there's the St. Thomas seat, you don't have to count that because that's already a fait accompli.
I think their players first.
Yeah. What can I tell you? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it is, and it has come to the point whereby it is beginning to take shape. It begins to take shape where the election is likely to go. Fine, like I say, anybody who wins is going to be maybe by 1 or 2 seats, because there are quite a number of seats there that is still left to be decided upon. Both St. Catherine. Dr. Dawes is way ahead of the JLP candidate there. He's at 7,405 by this person, 6,939. So he is ahead of him by at least, a 600 to 700 votes. And if it's 129 out of 135 boxes, I don't know how much more can create a earthquake with this one. Fine. So Dr. Dawes is likely to hold on to the seat if the trend continues in that direction. St. Mary, Dr. Dunn is likely to be losing his seat to Christopher Brown for the PNP. He has Christopher 6313, while Dr. Dunn has 6293. No many more boxes left, 109 out of 112. We don't know if there's going to be a seismic earthquake to be able to shift that anyway. The PNP has 130 and they have 33. Is a question of 3 seats going either way. It will determine who is the winner. St. Mary Western, Bobby Montague 8,102 to Omar Woodbine 7,403, 129 of 147 boxes counted. So 30, and so they have 17, 18 boxes left to go. It can still create a problem, because it's 7,403 to 8,182. So Bobby Montague cannot be too comfortable. Now, St. Northwest, 7,428 to Gabriela Morris, 7,077. So, and how many boxes count? 135, 127 out of 135. So, we see some issues here that are dancing in the air and we don't know. So anyone will win by a margin of 1 or 2 seats. And that's where it is. Maximum 3 seats. Maximum 3 seats. Anyone win, and that was what was predicted for a while. Well, break. Alright, well, We're going to have to go to a break in a minute, and then when we come back from the break, it's basically going to be a wrapping up discussion to see where the final results are, where it is all at. And we say Steve McGregor seemed to be moving ahead of the 4,739 to 4,727 by Mr. Donovan Williams with 80 boxes counted of 80 boxes. So Steve McGregor could have been declared the winner for Kingston Central. Wow, that's interesting. So Donovan Williams is out, and he was leading for a while. So 4,739 as against 4,727. So therefore there's a difference of about 12 or 13 votes. Barnswell, what is happening here? Clarendon Southeastern. Barnswell 94 of 144 boxes. Charles is what, 6,000. Barnswell is at 4,000. I thought it was 6,000 as well. No, Barnswell is at 4,805. Charles is at 6,000. But then there's only 94 of 144 boxes. So them still have 46 boxes to go. And Wavell Hines, 5,624 to 5,407, Clarendon North. So this one, how many boxes? 95 of 100. 5 boxes to go. Yes, it comes back down there. It comes back down there. They are so shallow, they are so near, they are so marginal, that it can be anybody's call. It can be anybody's call, and it can go either way. Either party can really declare a winner between now and 12 o'clock tomorrow morning. We just have to get the boxes out and get the finished counting and see where we go. We'll come back after the messages.
The cola half them close, y'all. Some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easy. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Ooh, really be sad. Is it a misplaced melancholy? Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My people, me attack. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, falling suffrage. Rise and take your stance again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me attack. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of a citizen to vote. I upon them constitution. Last time it did a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote house closed. No one arm, no one chew the collar off them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah. If it's Rasta, them talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, can't me hear ya. Question has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't be nuclear power. Should really be sad. Is it a misplaced melancholy? Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My people me attack. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, falling suffrage. Rise and take your stance again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me attack. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of my citizen to vote. I upon them constitution, long time it need a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty, vote house closed. No one arm, no one choose the color of them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah, yeah, yeah. If it's Rasta, then talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, can't me hear ya. Krypton has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Ooh, yeah. Couldn't be nuclear power. It's politics time again. Well, are you gonna vote now? Good people need talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Ooh. And a little preach, we preach. Still they bust up their big guns on the street, Lord. Killing people, it's all they really see. Who is it that I'm on is speaking? Who is it that is controlling the system? Three parties and I'm not dancing. Who is it? Who is she? No, who is the Mr. Him? Yeah, it's your campaign time again now. Ooh, yeah. Well, it's politics time again. The people are gonna cry now. Ooh, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Hey, everything raise, but we won't live on fret. When the air that we breathe becomes thick with death, then we know, Jaja guide, we will never fret. Whenever you're ready, we're ready. No more spot check. Whether you're light, whether you're heavy, have pure respect, Lord, 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 Lord. No war, no war. Yeah, well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Who is worthy? Who is worthy? It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Poor people cry. It's the right of senior citizens to vote. By upon them constitution, long time it need a joke. We are fed up with promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty, vote house closed. No one harm, no one choose the color of them clothes, yeah. Some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Ooh, really be sad. Is it a misplaced melancholy? Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My people may talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, falling sufferers. Rise and take your stands again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me attack. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of my citizen to vote. I upon them constitution, long time it need a joke. Fed up.
Welcome back. Just want to let you know that this is the final leg of the relay, final leg of the race, and we're going towards the end of what has been a long night. We're, like I said, we're monitoring the elections here in Montego Bay from my studios, and of course, we more or less interweave it with the activities of what's coming from TVJ. Most of it is more or less through the window, where they have almost 85 to 90% of the thing done. So we see what happens when it is all done. in another couple of minutes. The final numbers are coming in, and the tightness and the nail biting moments of a competition and a contest like this is coming there. It is they are the panelists are now giving some kind of a summary as it relates to their thinking and the feeling about what the whole thing is like. Not all the boxes are in yet. For example, St. Mary Southern boxes are not finally in. The boxes for Manchester Central is not also final. I think there are about 1 or 2 boxes left, but we'll see what the difference with that make. Right? So we see how it works itself out. Clarendon Southeastern, Barnswell and Charles. Charles has one in seat.
Clarendon Southeast, 120 boxes of 144.
120 of 144. A number you still have 20 boxes, 24 boxes left for Clarendon. So anything is likely to happen to Clarendon. So that is not final. So you have Clarendon. Big difference. 22 boxes. Yeah. 122, so 124 boxes for Clarendon between Barnswell and Charles. Fine. Trelawney Northern.
Northern, we still have 5 boxes.
They have 5 boxes left, but
what y'all think about?
Which is between Wickham and Toya. Tova. She has 7894. Wickham has 7746. Which still have another 5 boxes out.
St. Elizabeth Southeastern 94 out of 109.
St. Elizabeth Eastern. The JLP is at 8,220 watt.
220 and Norman Scott of the
Norman Scott is 6,176. Wow.
Of the JPP 39 volts. East Rural 129 of 137. Juliet Holness.
Juliet Holness 8,617 to Patrick Peterkin 7,065. So Juliet has held her seat.
46 votes and Purcell Jackson 38.
Okay.
Purcell, I think. St. James West Central, here we go. Haven't seen this for a bit. 80 boxes of 106. The JLP is Marlene Malahoo Fort 4,704. Andre Horn of the PNP 4,122. Clifford Barnett 15 votes.
And we still have 26 boxes.
And St. Anne Southwestern 86 boxes of 105. Xavier Main of the JLB 5,837. Danishka Williams 4,280. Clive Edwards of the JPP 34. St. Anne Northwestern 133 out of 135 boxes. And Crystal Lee of the JLP 7,971 to Gabriella Morris of the PNP 7,317.
So that one is a JLP seat. Gone to JLP as well. St. Mary Southeastern is 6,592 for Dunn, as against 6,575.
Norman Dunn of the JLP
6,592.
Christopher Brown of the PNP
6,575 with 1 box to go.
26.
That may be the seat I was thinking of in terms of the third candidate. Perhaps his vote making the difference. We don't know which way it might have gone. But
yeah, but this one,
it raises that possibility.
Yes, it does. They can go anywhere. It can go anywhere. This one can go anywhere. Trelawney Southern.
Steve McGregor.
What? Dalrymple 1,787. Padmore 1,486. 26 to 96. So Padmore.
Padmore of the PNP 1,486.
But if we could just pause on the counting, on the numbers a little bit, because coming into this particular election, what I had and what I've been sharing throughout the night with Clifford are are the seats that the PNP had to take back to win the election. Southeast on the screen now is a weather vane seat. It has voted for the winning party for the last 5 elections, and it has given the nod in this instance to Franklin Witter retaining Southeast. I suspect a similar thing is happening in Southwest, which is the other weather vane seat where Floyd Green there is challenged by Miranda Wellington. And I expect the same out of Western St. Mary. We see the results here for Southwest with some boxes to go where Xavier Main is leading Danishka. So I had about...
But this is 86 boxes of 105.
...to topple tonight if they were going to win. There's Western St. Mary, the other weather vane, completely declared for Robert Montague, even though the polls going into
147 to 147.
Treading water. So he's beaten hometown boy Omar Woodbine, not by a lot because he's coming from thousands, but he's won it. So against a 21 that I think the PNP needed to take, so far they have taken only 14.
Of the 21 seats that they need to have gotten?
As good as those are, they don't appear that they will be sufficient for them to win tonight.
Okay, hold that thought. We're going over to Western Hannibal, where Anthony Lugg is on location.
Anthony Lugg is over there. What's the story happening over there? There's a change in Western Hannibal.
Thank you so much. So I'm just outside the Watson Taylor Park here in Western Hannibal, where the coffee is still going on over here. I'm now joined by a PNP supporter who is outside here. She's extremely excited. Talk to me about how you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling extremely happy at this time because I know that Western Hannibal is going back to the National Party. And I know that one by one of Damien Foster said they are going.
It's still early days yet.
I know.
Nothing has not finished yet, but why is it that you're so confident?
Because of the growth that we already get so far, we know that their lead standing so I know that Hannibal is going to be the winner for Western Hannibal tonight.
Alright, thank you so much. So as she just said, Heather Miller is going up against the incumbent Tamika Davis of the Jamaica Labour Party. We will be here on the ground, we will be monitoring the situation. It's back to you in studio.
But what is the difference with the voting down there?
Log for that, and as you can see, we have our reporters on the ground.
Heather Miller 6,969. Davis is 5,859. 115 of 115 of 116 boxes count, which therefore means that Heather Miller is the winner of that seat.
Davis is back with West Central. Has
No.
this moved?
No.
This hasn't moved.
St. Andrew West Central.
This is the Prime Minister's constituency.
The Prime Minister's constituency.
We've been
Buck has 4,867, while the Prime Minister has 4,762.
St. Andrew West Central. Just to remind our viewers that we are on radio as well, which is why you hear us reading a lot of the results. This is Clarendon Southeast, 140 boxes of 144, Pernell Charles Jr., 9,207 votes to Sian Barneswell,
7,770.
770. Called now for Pernell Charles officially. Had it been called?
So it's been officially called for Pernell Charles.
Yeah? Okay.
And by the
So
way,
I think which one I haven't seen for a while is that other St. Elizabeth seat. But slowly.
that's northeast.
Yeah, slowly.
Yes.
Jamaica won that. We haven't seen it come up.
Yes. Was it declared?
I think so. It hasn't come up for...
All right. So we will know exactly later on. But it is clear the JLP still has a lead in at least 33 of the seats, and the PNP has 30.
Yeah. Here we
And the
go.
PNP has 30. That hasn't changed.
This was one box left to go, 120.
Jerica Jess, she has 8,283 and slowly has 7,693. St. Elizabeth Northeastern. So St. Elizabeth.
Delroy slowly of the Jamaica Labour Party, who at this point had polled 7,693.
And
Myron
slowly was
of the
incumbent.
PNP picked up 20, and Joseph Patterson of the UIC picked up 11 votes.
This is a long-standing PNP seat.
A long standing.
This is
Yes.
really just a rebalancing of everything with the anomaly of 2020. This is Curran Spencer, Raymond Price, and then Evan Redmond. This used to be a very strong PNP seat, so no surprises there.
I would say though that I think one of the things we have to is, I mean, the rebalancing you're speaking of, sure, but at the same time,
She's saying rebalancing in terms of the seats going back home to where they belong
Look
to.
at Northern Trelawney, for instance, where we're seeing this. Has this been declared yet? Okay, Toba Hamilton, 8,062 votes, Wickham McNeil of the PNP, 7,788. So I take your point, Emily, but I also think that we are seeing a new generation of voters, and that
the Trelawney seat is a big question sign.
I mean, Central Kingston is not going to be in anybody's safe column going forward. Declared now for Tova Hamilton, so Wickham McNeil, having traveled across Western Jamaica, wasn't successful in terms of getting
so
back
145 to 146.
And again, this was
one box left to be counted. It will not shake this. It will not make a difference.
Big victory there. I agree.
Tova Hamilton, she won in 2020. And she's back. She's going back to Parliament. Hard-working member of Parliament.
Okay.
I'm very happy for her, just as I'm happy for Rhoda Crawford and many other persons.
Okay, we in fact have Nakinsky Robinson, who is in Trelawney Northern. Let's go to her.
All right. This is just a wrap-up piece what RGR is doing, as we are doing as well, to make sure that we see what the final numbers are.
I'm now at the Trelawney Multipurpose Stadium in Falmouth, where the counting has been concluded for the Trelawney Northern constituency. And the word that I'm getting from the election officials is that the seat was successfully retained by the incumbent member of parliament who was seeking a second term as MP, Tova Hamilton. Now, she is the first female member of parliament for Trelawney Northern, and she has successfully done so tonight from what we've heard. She was going up against the People's National Party representative, Dr. Wickham McNeil, who is the political juggernaut, who is not new to the scene at all. And so he was seeking redemption because he was unseated when he served as member of parliament for Western Westmoreland in the 2020 general election. We saw very frantic and chaotic scenes here tonight, where even one of the Jamaica Labour Party supporters, in the height of their excitement and partying, she passed out and she was rushed to seek medical attention. We've not gotten any word as to her state right now, but we're hoping that she is recovering well. But now the place has been emptied out. The lot is really and truly emptying out right now. As you can see behind me, there's a huge Jamaica Urban Transit Company bus, and just before we started this video, we saw very long lines of traffic emptying out the lot, heading back onto the main road. So the polls have closed, the counting has ended, and it seemed to have been Miss Tova Hamilton from the Jamaica Labour Party who was first past the post tonight.
Well, what can I tell you? She has proven her worth. It was told us where she wasn't doing much in her constituency, but it proves not to be so.
I think this exactly makes my point. The parties can no longer afford to be.
And Wickham McNeil, who is a political, should be a politically astute man and juggler. But I think Wickham campaign was running in a way that it caused the people and members of the campaign to feel a little bit concerned. And as a result of which, whatever they get, whatever they sow is whatever they reap. You know what I mean? So, what can I tell you? You just have to go back to the drawing board, and I'm sure this will make Wickham now pack up his bags and leave the political scene.
30 of 137 boxes declared for Juliet Hollis.
So Juliet Hollis now win the seat. 130 to 137. Okay.
When it comes up on the screen, I want to see what is going on with the Prime Minister.
Well, I guess the only major seat that the JP will lose will be losing the Prime Minister's seat. And that is a good thing. So it saves the party having to go through this process of having to deal with him again or having to ask him to resign.
The last 2 or 3 times it's come up, it's been the same.
It's 87 of 105 boxes. Let us see how that remains and how that continues. Fine. And his situation might not be clear until later tonight or tomorrow. Fine. Because he has a fight on his hand from a serious political rival, and in the form of Buchanan. and 6592 and 6572 with one box left to count. We see what happens with this between Christopher Brown and Norman Dunn. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at that point where we have to tell you thanks for tuning in and for listening in. And we want to say thanks to all the persons who showed us we stand on to bring this program to you tonight. So we see it. If it is going to be so, then the JLP is a victor and the PNP will be the vanquished. And then, of course, tomorrow they will all meet and to look at where did I go wrong, what did I do bad, wrong, or should have done, or could have done, and the coulda, woulda, shoulda will start tomorrow. And of course, we hope that it will be more self-retrospection, introspection for both the candidates and members of their campaign team to say, what could we have done differently and why didn't we do it? Did we see the writing on the wall? Did we see the indication? Because sometimes they were so confident in themselves that they become arrogant and rude and insulting and not realizing that some of their own members whom they have sidelined are the ones that they should have paid some attention to, who would have perhaps helped them more along the way. But so the things that we have to learn these things, and let we hope, they will learn. Certainly the PNP will learn. So the PNP is now going to be, if it remains the same, in the political wilderness for at least another, not 5, but 10 years. Because the JLP is going to make sure that they not win a third term, but definitely it is going to give them the catalyst to win a 4th term, or maybe a 5th. And of course, creating history. The PNP would have lost their chance and time in history to be able to do what they thought they could have done, and to do what the mission of that they got from Norman Manley and part of the mission from Bustamante to have done. But they've got to go back to the drawing board and find their way home and see what happens with that. So we see how that all falls in place. Just want to say thanks for listening, thanks for tuning in. We know you have a choice in listenership, so we are privileged when you choose to listen to us at Flex FM and Flex Radio. Until I join you again on Thursday. Well, tomorrow is what? Thursday? Now, or next week, Thursday, for a follow-up. Roy telling me, saying thank you to my engineer and my producer and my production assistant and all the people who participated today, yesterday and last night, so that we were able to bring this program to you, despite we had all sorts of challenges, not only just rain, but we also had political victimization from the people who we're supposed to be getting some support from. This is Roy Tenny saying thank you to all these people, to Mr. Jamie, thank to Mr. Thomas, thank to Mr. Akeem, and all the people who really make this possible. TC, thank you. Big up and bless up. Thank you to, of course, Trisha and everybody else. What I will do tomorrow, I will get the final results coming out of the electoral office tomorrow morning when they would have finished counting tonight. And they would have issued a statement by 1 o'clock tonight to go into the Gleaner for tomorrow morning. Exactly how the polls finished, who are all the winners, and which are the seats that are likely to be challenged by the different candidates. And I'll bring that to you in a special report tomorrow during my regular hours for my show. Roy Teddy Mayer saying thank you. Sleep the sleep of the just, free from all your cares and sorrows. And as your night turns to day, as indeed it must, I hope you wake to a brighter tomorrow. Walk good.
Promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote closed. No one arm, no one choose the color of them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? This is love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah. If it's Rasta, them talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, can't me hear ya. Great John has become a gunman compound. citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't be nuclear power. Should really be sad. Is it? Is it a misplaced melancholy? Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My people may talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, falling sufferers. Rise and take your stands again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me attack. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of my citizen to vote. I upon them constitution. Last time it did a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty. Vote house closed. No one arm, no one chew the collar of them clothes now. But some just plain greedy. No matter how we teach, they'll forget easier. Look, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. We all shall vote, yeah. If it's Rasta, them talking. Look here, bloodshed from Rima. Down in the valley, got me here, yeah. Question has become a gunman compound. No place for people with citizenship, Lord. Them crying relentlessly, yeah. People moving every minute, every hour. Gunshot falling like hell shower. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't be nuclear power. It's politics time again. Well, are you gonna vote now? Good people may talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? And a little one, we want. And a little preach, we preach. Still they bust up their big guns on the streets, Lord. Killing people, it's all they really see. Who is it that I'm on is speaking? Who is it that is controlling the system? Three parties and I'm not dancing. Who is it? Who is she? No, who is the Mr. Him?